of those franchises, the TMNT have had many different forms and iterations, from their edgy indie comic book roots to their family-friendly 80s cartoons.
Yeah, I just had to start it early.
Mayhem,
I'll probably still run through the regular time. I guess I was figuring I'd start early and then run till like, past 4. So that way,
the franchise has never taken itself
yeah, I figured
seriously.
I had the day off, so I was going to do like an all day, but I was like, I don't know.
Really silly toys. The original TMNT toy line
was kind of bopping around earlier. I saw it in that one dude show.
Almost 10
dude, that was funny. I've never like interacted with that dude, but like he knew who I was. I was like, oh Jesus, man, this is gonna rep now. Because I want to get that looking for TMNT money. I was like, oh my god.
It's Fiesta time.
Yeah, do your thing, man.
But what I wanted to talk about today is something even wackier. The mini crossovers of the TMNT. What's good, Internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and in today's video, we're going to cover several toys. All of them from the mini crossovers of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mostly from the past 5 years. It's true that the Turtles have always done crossovers. The original toy line featured the Turtles as both Star Trek characters and Universal monsters. I love this Invisible Man Mikey. He comes with a little removable mask. I feel like the amount of collaborations have increased a lot in the last 5 years, though. And we've gotten a lot of specialized Ninja Turtles products. From Transformers to Godzilla.
I mean, on that for 30 seconds.
I thought it would be fun to take a look at a bunch of these
Welcome in, everybody.
collabs and highlight some cool toys in the process. If you enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing.
Yeah, right.
Further, I have a merch store.
Yeah.
There are 2 designs in the shop.
Dude, I was gonna go for that TurtleCon because I was bummed didn't have the inserts, but I have extra inserts for my TurtleCon.
Version of my avatar, and that
so
would
like
be leaving the store at
I could, I could make the
some of my fans have already gotten their merch, and it's also
pretty much complete. I was gonna put it on if I could win it. I was gonna put it on the setup.
All right, without further ado, let's get into the video. Cobra Kai is one of those shows I only ever.
Oh, did we do Leonardo Rocksteady? That's my bad.
I'm at a family event avoiding people, and it happens to be on the TV for some reason. I like the original Karate Kid, but I don't think a Karate Kid extended universe is really something that has ever interested me. Though it must be doing something right, considering it got 6 seasons and a movie. I'm
not on the market for
this year. Does anyone remember that Cobra Kai started?
So you got the inserts. Yes, I've got 4 with my TurtleCon. I've got like 4 inserts, but I only have the Casey Jones one in because it's on the Casey Jones display.
So quote-unquote television show made for YouTube. Well, color me surprised when Cobra Kai moved over to Netflix after season 2. Maybe I judged you too harshly, Cobra Kai, though I still have no interest in the Miyagi-verse, which is literally what they call the Karate Kid universe, by the way. But I do have interest in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, which was surprisingly restricted to just toys. A lot of crossovers I'll be talking about today have a supporting comic book, but not the Cobra Kai toys, which were released as 4-packs featuring the iconic Cobra Kai characters fighting the Ninja Turtles. The TMNT have all black bandanas instead of their usual colors, maybe as a reference to having black belts in karate. The Turtles are all basically the same toy, save for their braces and weapons and karate outfits, which are made out of cloth goods, which is always nice to see on an action figure. Turtles have
I have of that like series or style, I guess you could say I think I've got Slash left, right? I think there's Slash and yep, and just April. I think that's the only 2 from that. Like, I think I sold all the Toon ones last week. I used to have the Toon Best Actions, all 4 Turtles, but Slash would be the only other one, I think.
Especially for characters meant to do karate moves. Even though they're not amazing, I'm sure some Cobra Kai fans were excited to get these figures. Unsurprisingly, this was the only wave of figures to release, and I guess we'll never know why the Turtles were fighting Cobra Kai. I'm on record as not being a huge fan.
I released it for $20, but you can feel free to make an offer if you have something in mind.
One of the best things about Power Rangers is the comic books, and the Power Rangers and the TMNT have actually had 2 crossover comic book series. I read the first one, and I actually loved it. The art is fantastic, and the story does a great job of mixing the 2 franchises together. The Turtles and April become Power Rangers, the Shredder becomes the Green Ranger, and even the Megazord becomes a turtle. The comic book implies that the Rangers and the TMNT just happen to live in the same universe, with the Power Rangers being well-known superheroes, while the Turtles hide in the shadows, still unknown to the general public. It's kind of crazy how seamlessly these 2 universes mix, not requiring any dumb universe hopping at all. They can just chill whenever, which is cool to think about. I wonder what other franchises could fit in the weird Turtle/Power Rangers world. Anyway, the comic book designs actually got brand new toys in Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection. All 4 Turtles and April got figures based on their Power Ranger looks. And
yeah, what's it calculated for her shipping?
While Shredder got a toy based on Green Ranger form. I gotta say, it's really cool to see Hasbro's take on the Turtles, especially in their now iconic 6-inch action figure scale. Lightning Collection had a lot of issues as a toy line, but I gotta say, I appreciate the weirder stuff they did, like this TMNT crossover. All of the figures look amazing with excellent art.
What does it say for her shipping?
Turtles, April, and Tommy all come with unmasked heads, and April even has a video camera and microphone. As cool and weird as these toys are, they must look pretty bizarre on the display shelf without any context from the comic book. Shredder is the best design in my opinion. His look mixed with the Green Ranger really works, and they even gave him a fabric cape, which is nice. I feel like this comic book is proof that you can mix the Ninja Turtles with anything, and the story will actually work because the Turtles and their world is so well established. Hey, I just wanted to pop in and say this video is sponsored by Gamersubs.
$7.
Gamersubs is an energy drink mix that gives you the caffeine you need for the day, without all the drawbacks of soda or energy drinks. I really like it and recommend it. And if you use my code DUMBJAY,
she's 5 inches.
You get 10% off your order, and I'll get a little kickback. A win-win. Okay, ad over. Stranger Things was so hyped when it first came out, and I think a lot of people still like it.
There you go, dude.
Personally,
enjoy.
I really fell off, especially with the long waits between seasons. I think I'll probably watch the whole show.
I'll have that out for you tomorrow morning.
Season comes out, because the first season of the show was actually great, and it enthralled
Appreciate you, dude.
the entire internet for the better part of a year.
You should get a couple coupons for the Rewards Club too. Welcome to that. Thanks for shopping with me. Appreciate you supporting the show. Right back at you, dude. Right back at you.
Was black and white, so there wasn't
my
a need
pleasure
for them to have different colored bandanas at first. That was introduced with the cartoon. Any color images of the Turtles from the original comic depict them all with red masks. This is how they look in the Stranger Things crossover comic book, and they also feature similar proportions and faces to their original comic. I read the first issue, and this series didn't capture me like the Power Rangers crossover. It's similar in that the Turtles and Stranger Things kids live in the same universe, which feels normal in the Power Rangers comic and weird as hell.
You guys want to run through some pops, or is there anything else you were more looking for?
Feels so much more serious.
If you go to the auction tab and type in figure, it should pull up pretty much every toy we have for sale today. We've got comics and stuff too, but
I also feel like this comic book was made to specifically sell variant covers, which you
let me know if there's anything you guys want me to run or anything you want to look at.
But the Stranger Things crossover just feels so much more obvious about being a cash-in. Which brings us to the toys. These figures are again by Playmates and are packaged in 2 packs just like the Cobra Kai figures. I like how one character is always upside down no matter how you orientate the packaging. These sets are way lazier on the turtle front because all 4 turtle figures are the same, with the only difference being weapons and face expressions. I wish they were more creative with the turtles for these sets and gave them outfits or something. The Stranger Things figures of Lucas, Eleven, Dustin, and Hopper are okay. Again, Playmates has a very simple and recognizable style when it comes to action figures, with the just okay articulation and obvious cuts, and decent but not amazing head sculpts and paint. Dustin is my favorite of the figures, though he was my favorite character on the show, so I'm just being biased here. The other figures look good, and I especially think their accessories are excellent. There are walkie-talkies, flashlights, and Walkmans to go around. I also have to mention the Waffle Ninja Star that comes in all 4 sets. That is really fun. Masters of the Universe is one of my favorite toy franchises that I don't talk about enough. Mattel has been pumping out toys for their 5-inch Origins line, which are the modern remakes of classic He-Man toys with new articulation, as well as a bunch of new characters that have been added to the line over the years. I was super into Masters when Origins launched, and I have a few of them in my collection. I think I stopped collecting because there was just so much on the market, and my pockets can only stretch so far for toys. That being said, Origins is a fantastic line, and they kind of did the Transformers Missing Link thing before Missing Link. This is where the TMNT come in. 3 years after the Origins line launched, they had covered a majority of Masters characters, and they threw a crazy curveball for both He-Man and TMNT fans by releasing the Turtles of Grayskull figures, which was not a simple crossover, but an entire toy line with multiple waves. I've never seen anything like this before. And Quite frankly, the toy line is absolutely incredible. I should mention there is a tie-in comic, and I read the first issue. My first impression is that the story is okay, but I really love the art. Basically, the turtles end up in Eternia, and Shredder works with Skeletor to use mutagen, the toxic ooze that created the turtles, to corrupt Eternia so Skeletor can obtain the power of Castle Grayskull. As a result, many classic Masters and TMNT characters have been mutated or have taken on new looks. For example, Mikey is dressed like a barbarian and is even wearing a He-Man wig. The toy line has been coming out over the last 3 years, and I'm going to break all.
Of course, my dude. I hope you have a great day and a fruitful search.
The first wave of figures were very simple. It featured
Take care of yourself, and thanks again.
Man-at-Arms inspired here, and Leonardo in the Barbarian. I love the shape of. What is this we want? Oh, you want it.
Celebrate being human. Etsy.
I wanted to earn a top-rated degree in computer science while still being able to raise my kids.
This is like the human heart of microchip.
To learn from legends without having to leave set.
Listen up. So great. It's pure. Blockbuster. Fun. Doesn't feel good. Masters of the Universe. This Wednesday, everywhere Friday. I love the shape of his swords. And I like that the armor pieces have shell patterns. The theming is on point in this toy line. Man-at-Arms is pretty similar to his normal self, though he is sporting new turtle-themed armor. And he even has a shell now. The weirdest toy in the first year is definitely mutated He-Man. His body is made of see-through purple plastic, and the bright green hair and orange accented vest give him a very Halloween vibe. This is He-Man after being fully consumed by mutagen. In the comic, he's like
you know what? I was looking in the Discord, and some punk just posted it. I just saw that.
Bizarre,
so I did know, but only within the last 45 seconds maybe did I find out.
Hilarious look. I love that he's just wearing a wig to cosplay as He-Man. Raph is awesome. I actually have this figure. I feel like his look is kind of inspired by Ram Man, especially the armor and helmet. The helmet comes off and his face sculpt is excellent. The shaping and expression really reminds me of the 2003 cartoon. Raph comes with one huge sai and a metal gauntlet with a sai attached to it, so Raph can get some Wolverine action in. Also, I haven't mentioned it, but Origin figures are really interesting because you can pull them apart and mix and match pieces.
That would be cool.
Most accessories like armor comes off, so you can use that to customize your own characters. I think that's really fun, and the Turtles add a whole bunch of new pieces to the mix, so you can make even wackier characters. There are a lot of figures from 2024, but I'm going to list out the most standout toys for me. Mousejaw, who's a mix of Trapjaw and the Mousers, is so hilarious to me, and I love that he comes with a Mouser figure as well. Krang is a super impressive figure. I saw this guy in stores and passed on him, which I regret for me. This dude was hefty. I love that his android body was reimagined as an ogre or orc. It just fit so well and looked so gruesome. Krang definitely feels like he would fit into the normal Masters cast. Shredder's design is pretty lame in my opinion, but Skeletor looks like he's in his element. Skeletor definitely has a Shredder vibe with his outfit, but honestly this looks like a costume Skeletor would wear in any universe. I really love the look of Ram Man, now becoming a literal Ram Man and sporting the same purple look as He-Man. He just looks so cool, and I love Ninja Turtle characters that are mutated humans. So this guy is just checking all the boxes for me. The line lasted so long, we actually got an alternate Leonardo. This one is called Stealth Ninja Leonardo, and he looks sick with his hood and cape. Honestly, in Eternia, a talking turtle walking around isn't even that crazy. I'm not sure he even needs to go stealth mode. The coolest figure from 2024 has to be 2 Bobsteady, which is a mutated form of the Turtles' enemies Bebop and Rocksteady, who have been combined into a 2-headed monster. This is such a cool way to incorporate these 2 characters, and the head sculpts are so good. They're probably so annoyed that they got glued together like this. 2025 brought on new toys and a whole new theme. The Reptile Wars, which incorporates the evil Snake Men into the Turtles of Grayskull lore. I think the leader of the Snake Men is King Hiss, who is a dude made of snakes, which makes sense. Weirdly, the King Hiss figure can be King Hiss or a generic Foot Clan ninja. I feel like the Foot Clan ninja's body is like 5% too big for some reason. Among the Snake Men ranks is Rattlor, who looks way cooler than King Hiss, and I love all the blue and pink translucent pieces. Then there's Ninjor. I like Ninjor. He's a ninja in the world of barbarians, and he's probably the perfect nemesis for TMNT, but what if we just made him a badass dragon? Yeah, this is sick as hell. Bro just has a dragon head now. How did the mutagen do that? Screw it.
Welcome in, dudes. Check the show notes for info on the show. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Give us a follow for regular turtle shows. Going 3 times a week. Comics Monday, action figures Tuesday, and kind of a mix on Saturday.
His tail is awesome, and I really enjoy.
Don't hesitate to let me know if I can do anything for you.
He looks super menacing. But thank God, on the hero side, we have Clamp Champ, who is a real Masters of the Universe character, whose whole deal
you go to the auction tab and type in figure, and you can see everything we got for action figures today. We do also have comics, but generally we run those by request during this show.
Another hilarious character. His whole power is extending his neck upwards. Just his neck. Again, I kind of like this new design of Mecha Neck more than his normal design. We also got 3 new versions of Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Donatello. I'm not sure why Raphael didn't get a new figure, especially considering Leo already had 2. But maybe that means we'll see a new Raph in another wave. Leo looks like a modified version of his first costume. Donnie has a flaming bow staff and looks much more magical now. And Mikey is sporting snake armor. Sadly, he's missing his iconic He-Man hairpiece. This toy line is absolutely fantastic and is the gold star example of a great crossover, especially compared to the most recent collab with Masters and Transformers. This is a total tangent, but oh my god, this Transformers collab is so ass. He-Man characters wearing armor inspired by Transformers characters is such a low-effort way to do a collab. Imagine if that's what they did for Turtles of Grayskull. That would have been so lame. And I'll give them credit, I don't hate everything about these toys. Man-at-Arms mask looks cool, and I dig Skeletor's staff being mixed with Megatron's fusion cannon. But this collab feels like such a miss compared to Turtles of Grayskull. If this is the first video that you're seeing from me, you should know I'm a huge Transformers fan. It's definitely the toy franchise I know the most about, though the Transformers is so expansive that there's still plenty I don't know. When the TMNT and Transformers crossover was revealed, I was pretty impressed. Transformers has been doing collabs for a while now. The Transformers collaborative line started in 2019 with Ectotron, the Ghostbusters Transformer. Even though I'm not a big Ghostbusters fan, it was an exciting idea at the time. Hasbro has steadily put out these collabs, and personally, while I think a lot of them are cool, I also have very little interest in them as a Transformers fan. I already have so much to buy. Do I really need Transformers based on Street Fighter characters? But they finally got me with Party Wallop, a totally tubular transforming turtle. His Turtle Van mode is incredible. It looks just like the original cartoon, and the shell pattern on the roof is so nice to touch. The little shell on the grill comes off to reveal a pizza as well, which is a fun touch. The real magic of Party Wallop happens in robot mode. This Transformer has 5 different robot modes. The first is Party Wallop mode, which is the base form of the robot. He has a maskless head and a much more rotund body, with the front of the Turtle Van serving as his chest. You can take the Turtle Van chest off to reveal a body much more in line with the TMNT. Technically, this can also be Party Wallop, and you can put the chest armor on his arm as a shield. I kinda like Party Wallop as the fat turtle, though. You can also swap the headpieces and belt buckle to turn Party Wallop into any of the 4 turtles. The set comes with all 4 weapons the turtles use as well. They all look really cool. I will say Donnie's staff is pretty lame, and it tends to break easily. I guess you can headcanon whatever you want, but I like to think that these are the actual turtles turned into Transformers. Though you could also say that Party Wallop is cosplaying as them. Like most Transformers crossovers, there's not much supporting lore, so it's really up to you. I think as a toy and Transformer, Party Wallop is awesome. He's definitely got some flaws, but Hasbro did a great job of recreating the Turtle Van, and also adding in all of the turtle colors and weapons. Let me know if you want me to cover the rest of the Transformers collab line. I feel like there's a lot to chew on and discuss. Okay, so these next sections are focused towards 2 super new reveals. As in, so new the toys aren't even out yet. The first thing I'm going to talk about was revealed at San Diego Comic-Con just a few weeks ago. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Godzilla. Now, Godzilla truly needs no introduction. He's a big stinky lizard and the king of the monsters. This collaboration is going to be supported by a comic book from IDW. Right now, IDW is pushing their own Godzilla comic book universe, similar to Skybound's Energon universe, and they're also publishing a ton of Godzilla spin-off comic books. So it makes perfect sense to do a TMNT X Godzilla crossover comic book. We don't have many details on it yet, but the first issue drops in November, and maybe the toys will drop around that time as well. The toys are made by Playmates, who also have the MonsterVerse toy license. Right now, we've only seen 3 figures, and they're all turtles mixed with classic Godzilla kaiju, including Leonardo as Godzilla with 2 radioactive katana, Raphael as Rodan, and he has flame size and wings. I love his cartoonish beak mouth. And finally, we have Mikey as King Ghidorah. And while he looks cool, I think making the other dragon heads shoulder armor is a miss. It would have been way cooler if his hands were the other heads, or even crazier if they had just given him 3 full heads. The sculpts look really fantastic though, and I can definitely see myself collecting these figures. I'm going to guess Donnie is Mechagodzilla, and we'll see how that prediction ages. I've always seen Hello Kitty around, but in the past couple of years, the brand's popularity has exploded, and most people even know the name of the company that creates Hello Kitty, Sanrio. Sanrio obviously has a bunch of other characters. Some of my faves are Karopi, Batsmaru, and Big Challenges. Real talk, I only know these characters because my girlfriend is super into the Hello Kitty game that came out on Steam, and I kind of love the cutesy world they live in, though I still don't know a lot of the lore details. Obviously, I'm talking about this because TMNT is doing a collab with Sanrio in the most unexpected way. A few months ago, Hello Kitty collabed with Yu-Gi-Oh! As McDonald's Happy Meal toys, of all things. And they're back at it again with a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab, featuring your favorite Sanrio characters like Karomi, My Melody, Cinnamoroll, Batsmaru, and of course Hello Kitty. This Happy Meal line features all of these characters dressed as different turtles and doing different poses. There are 12 different toys to get, with several characters with multiple toys. Hello Kitty has 5 toys, which is the most. You can literally make an entire turtle team out of Hello Kitties. There are also non-green versions, so you can have a team of Karomi, Hello Kitty, My Melody, and Cinnamoroll cosplaying as the turtles. This is probably the set I would be after. Turtle-fied Hello Kitty and company is cool, but I kind of like the cosplay look better, and Cinnamoroll as Donnie is just so adorable. Batsmaru got exactly 1 figure, while everyone has at least 2. They should have made him Venus, that random 5th turtle from that one show. Overall, this is a super cute collaboration, and I do suspect I will be ordering a few Happy Meals at the ripe age of 28. The promotion is supposed to start on the 12th, so if you're after these, be on the lookout. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is truly a bizarre franchise.
Anyway, that's pretty funny.
Able to blend in with any other universe. And maybe, just maybe, there are some totally radical teenage turtles in this universe too.
Like, it's one of those things like...
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to support me further, I have a YouTube membership and Patreon. For $1 a month, both platforms give you the same thing. Access to my private Discord server, where we do monthly movie nights and weekly Toku nights, and weekly exclusive videos called Toy Dives, where I talk about a random toy line. In one of the recent episodes, I talked about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory toys, which I didn't even know existed before I made that video. As a reminder, I now have merch. Check out the link in my description to get your very own Dumb Jake shirt, hoodie, or sticker. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.
We got everything for this graduation party at Five Below. Balloons, decorations, candy, so many options for graduation. We were able to grab everything in one trip. Look, we got everything. This made it so easy to put together. This is perfect for graduation. This turned out so good, and it is way more affordable than we ever expected.
Hi, I'm Stitch Fix stylist Alara. So if spring weather confuses you, your outfits don't have to. Here's how to layer without looking bulky. Most people tend to overlay or underlayer because they're treating spring like winter or summer when it's really its own season. So I'll be sharing 3 helpful tips to help you with this. So you want to choose breathable bases. Start with cotton, tees, tanks, or lightweight knits, nothing too thick. Secondly, you want to use light structure instead for warmth. Think blazers, denim jackets, or utility jackets. These add polish without overheating. Lastly, you want to keep the portions balanced. If your layering is oversized, keep the base fitted. This keeps outfits intentional, not sloppy. So quick takeaways, spring layering works best when pieces add structure, not bulk. I hope this helps. Happy styling.
In 1992, when toy sales started cooling down, the then president of the U.S. branch of Playmates Toys, Richard Salas, predicted that the brand only needed to survive another 5 years to become an evergreen classic like G.I. Joe or Barbie. But the slow decline of Turtlemania proved too stressful for its creators. And midway through the 90s,
I don't have either of those. Now all the toys I have are new, dude.
selling the property. Without a solid offer, though, the creative duo decided to stick to the Turtles. By the end of the 90s, the franchise was almost non-existent. Its creators were no longer talking to each other. To complicate things further, Peter Laird had been burned out by the business side of Turtlemania. But thanks to the timely intervention of some fans, Peter emerged from his burnout and decided to prove that the franchise was truly evergreen, not a fad. Of course, Turtlemania was a marketing-friendly interpretation of his creation. So, would Peter be able to bring back the Turtles in a way that could be truthful to the original, or would he end up breaking the Greenback's machine? Join me today for the 6th episode of History and a Half Show, and what I had to call the revival. Before I dive into this episode, I recommend you read Marco's book, TMNT. It's been a valuable source for these videos. Now, let's get back to our history series. Things had changed from the early days of Turtlemania. Mirage Studios had a CEO, Gary Richardson, who could help handle the business side of the franchise. With this in mind, Mirage Licensing Inc. assumed responsibility for all licensing rights to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in April 2000, taking them from Surge Licensing and Mark Friedman. In Gary's words, while Surge was one of the best agents in the business, they felt like bringing the property back in-house to continue marketing and licensing the Turtles, nurture the property, and evaluate creative options. But Surge wasn't the only player involved with the franchise. Kevin Eastman still had an ownership interest in the property and the company. So, after some intense negotiations, Peter purchased Kevin's ownership interest in the Turtles and Mirage in June 2000. However, Kevin wasn't entirely there. A small profit participation interest in the exploitation of the Turtles, which he would hold for a few more years. More on that later. For Kevin, the sale was an opportunity to move on to other projects, like the Heavy Metal 2000 animated movie. After 15 years with the Turtles, Kevin was happy at that time, and it didn't seem at the time that the Turtles were going anywhere anytime soon. Now as a sole owner, Peter was looking to relaunch the Turtles closer to his vision, weekly on a national TV network. Something easier said than done. While the franchise was still dead in terms of output, the comics side of things was in transition. A Casey Jones story titled Muscle and Faith was initially intended to come out in the mid-90s, but got canceled when Mirage stopped publishing comics in 1995. Its creator, Jeff Bonhart, who had worked for Kevin in Tundra Publishing, got the story released weekly and digitally through FlyingColorsComics.com. 6 new pages were released for 12 weeks, and to this day, it hasn't been officially printed. Through Jeremiah Studios, Peter, Jim Lawson, and Michael Dooney delivered the last graphic novel for the Planet Racers saga. Then, Peter, Jim, and Eric Talbot began work on a new TMNT
Lunchtime for Brian.
by Michael Dooney. This volume,
How we doing?
kicked off in March, but Peter had some heavy decisions to make before taking on the direction.
Hope you're doing well.
Comics had gone in unpredictable directions that just didn't fit within the ideas that Kevin and Peter had. So, to figure out what was canon and what wasn't for Volume 4, Peter decided to leave out most of the guest era and Volume 3. This ruffled some feathers. The most loyal fans were expecting Peter to continue the story started at Image Comics. But Peter couldn't pick up where Gary Carlson left off with the Turtles, and he decided to let that team finish the story at some point in the future. As for the guest era stories, some of them couldn't be reprinted due to the nature of the informal contracts at the time. So, except for a few adventures made by Mirage staffers, they were removed from canon from that point forward. Without Kevin, Peter also had creative freedom to tell the stories he wanted to tell with the Turtles. It also meant that Peter had the power to correct mistakes, such as Michelangelo's name, which would be spelled correctly from then on.
Oh, you got a wrap second print in? Awesome, dude. I'm doing well. That's great.
And with that in mind, Peter decided to go in a different direction, more attuned to his own sensitivities. While he didn't have a long-term vision for the series, he wanted to tell a serialized story, separating the Turtles and aging them up. He wanted this new era to have a pacing closer to real life, without clean beginnings and endings and overlapping events. The new bi-monthly run debuted in December 2001, and its first issue was successful enough to have a second printing. Growing tired of the Turtles having to stick to the shadows, Peter normalized their existence by introducing alien races that could live side by side with humans. This change would end up inspiring future adaptations. Peter continued using duo shades for the book's tones throughout its first 8 issues, but he later learned how to do them in Photoshop over his inked pages. He would also letter his pages digitally on his Mac. He initially inked, but soon realized he wasn't as fast as he used to be, and Eric stepped in as inker. The next priority was to take the Turtles to the small and the big screen. But this would prove to be a road.
Yeah, man, I hope you're doing good. I'm doing well. Just chilling. I'm hot in here already as the toy shows end up moving around a lot.
A short concept pilot was created.
We sold an April O'Neil toy. That's big deal. Now it's just Slash left from that series of Best Action. I'm surprised he's lasted as long as he has. He's a big figure. He's a cool figure.
The big screen, however, looked promising. In June 2001, it was announced that John Woo was working on a new CGI iteration of the Turtles, with a target release date for the holidays of 2002. However, the $40 million to $60 million project had no studio attached to co-finance or distribute it. By the end of 2001, a new possibility to launch an animated series on Kids WB came up. It would have involved the team behind Batman Beyond, and many concept designs were created. According to NinjaTurtles.com, the show would have aired on the WB or Cartoon Network. Unfortunately, Warner Bros. Passed on the project because they wanted a funnier show. Perhaps animation wasn't the right choice at the time, and an agreement was made for a hybrid CGI live-action miniseries from Hallmark Entertainment, with a target release date for 2003 or 2004. You may be wondering how the Hallmark Channel ended up entertaining the idea of a Ninja Turtles miniseries, and the answer lies in a link to the patents. Steve Barron, the director of the first live-action movie, had worked with Hallmark on his 1998 Merlin miniseries, which aired on NBC. This project, though, was likely to debut on the Hallmark Channel. At the time, the miniseries was supposed to come out right between the release of the new animated series and before the John Woo movie, marking a progression in scale for the Turtles to take over the world again.
But how's your day going, Brian? Hope it's a good one.
This project. The Turtles and Splinter would have been made.
Is that Slash?
Performed by real actors in suits. There was even some test footage of Splinter fighting on location. Since the show would have been directed by Steve Barron, the story would have been a sequel to the first movie, ignoring the events of the 2 sequels. Little is known about the miniseries plot. Given the nature of the internet, there are more unverified rumors than known facts, fueled mainly by concept designs that depicted the Turtles in street clothes, fighting ninjas, and fighting a 5th Dark Turtle in armor. It was also implied that there was something more to the Turtles' origin than was previously known, and The story would have been a cross between Men in Black, The Matrix, and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Thanks to Peter's blog, we eventually learned about a proposed creature called Shreddit, and that, in the movie's climax, the turtles would have been able to merge into one turtle spirit. Given the business relationship between Peter and Steve, the idea of releasing a director's cut of the first live-action movie resurfaced again, but never materialized. But, as I said, the animated series failed to launch, putting everything else in danger. By mid-2002, the CGI movie was still happening, with Digital Rim Entertainment joining the project. Unfortunately, by October 2002, the John Woo project was abandoned due to lack of interest.
They can like it, but you get to live it. Plan your next memory at gatlinburg.com.
The three for me, only at Chili's. Just got crispier with the big crispy chicken sandwich that's way bigger than McDonald's McCrispy. Huh, Chili's just out here dominating fast food again? Yeah, that tracks. This Chili's three for me is the best thing.
Escape the indoors with Cutter Area.
How you doing? Oh, what's up, Kyle? How you doing, man? Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well.
Trust Cutter Brand, a leader in mosquito protection for 25 years. Cutter.
So I was looking at our Discord. But yeah, hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. Let me know if there's anything you want me to run. Definitely open to offers and all this stuff. Trying to kind of liquidate toys a little bit. So again, if there's anyone to make an offer on anything, I'm pretty open to most offers on this stuff. Run all toys today. If you go to the auction tab and type in like figure, you should be able to pull up all the toys we have today.
Which he worked on with edits and letters by Peter Laird. The story was a reflection of the time. Dan wanted to channel all that negativity from the recent terrorist attacks.
But some stuff I'm just randomly running at a discount from what we have it listed as. So just let me know if there's anything you're looking at that you want me to run.
Working with Eric Talbot on a limited miniseries for that fall. While I don't think this story ever got published, it brought Steve back to the Turtles' orbit. Outside of Mirage, Kevin Eastman released his autobiography through Heavy Metal. Kevin would continue releasing comics throughout the decade, often in partnership with Simon Bisley. Things were changing on the small screen. In October 2001, Saban...
Yep, I hope you're having a good day, Brian. 3 more hours, buddy.
$1 billion in cash, and the assumption of $2.3 billion in Fox family debt. Included in the sale was the Saban catalog, which included The Next Mutation. Without the catalog, the Fox Kids Network programming block ended in September 2002. Programming was then leased to 4Kids Entertainment, which at the time had a long history of localizing overseas animation for the U.S. market, with recent successes such as Pokemon, Sonic X, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh! This was how the Fox Kids block replaced the Fox.
We had the whole set of the Power Rangers Turtles crossover figures.
4Kids was looking for a property to develop from scratch.
Gotta do it, bro.
Launch of a TMNT
I know that feeling now.
network, 4Kids began considering pitching their own.
There's some days I'll just like look at the people's pile of stuff and I'll kind of be staring at it and like I always ship it out by the next morning, but I'll just kind of stare at it all day. But like, I gotta do that.
Norman then set up a meeting with Peter and Gary at Mirage. Lloyd and Norman knew about the Warner Bros. Pitch. They knew they wanted to turn April and Casey into high schoolers, which at the time was a significant departure from the source material. This influenced Lloyd to pitch a more faithful adaptation of the original comics. That was a proposal Peter could refuse.
It's like when I used to run like Friday night shows, I'd run like late night shows, man. I had to stop doing that because I'd be out of control. I'd have to get everything to the post office before my 10 a.m. show on Saturday. It was just like,
without making it for adults.
you know, I'd be on till like 1 in the morning, then packing till 2 or 3 in the morning. I'd go to sleep, wake up at our post office here now opens at 9:30. My show starts at 10, so I have like a half hour to get everything there and get back. I'm trying not to do that if I can help it anymore.
Peter would approve scripts, designs, and concepts directly with Lloyd.
It's true, dude.
Would deal with the creative team behind the show, keeping the two worlds separate. Another reason this idea was so appealing to Peter was that 4Kids and Mirage were direct partners, unlike the Fred Wolf cartoon, which was made through certain licensing. This ensured that the show couldn't deviate from Peter's vision. This, of course, resulted in a cartoon that avoided going into the mutant and weak territory. And since 4Kids had experience with anime like Yu-Gi-Oh!, they knew that the serialized format was already working well for them. This was yet another departure from the previous shows, becoming the first heavily serialized TMNT cartoon, allowing for full-fledged character arcs.
These figures are pretty cool. They're made of metal.
Generally avoided
And they're like the black and white, the gray scale, sort of like turtles. All four. I have all four of them. They all red bandanas. So like Mirage turtles, basically that Mega Bloks that
By May
never been
2002,
opened.
the show was announced for an early 2003 release. Unfortunately, 4Kids was putting the cart before the horse. By October 2002, the show was nowhere near ready to start animation and had yet to develop an artistic direction. Knowing that they needed an industry veteran, they brought in Chuck Patton to direct the show. He had an extensive career working on shows such as Spawn and the DC animated universe, as well as comic books. Chuck assembled a crew to produce the show from the 4Kids offices in New York, which was a challenge in itself, as most of the talent resided on the other side of the country. With only a couple of months left to ship the first episode, Chuck drew inspiration for the first movie, for the Turtles, and the show's tone. He proposed it be closer to live-action martial arts, emphasizing the ninja aspect of the property, rather than the mutant part. He came up with the turtle designs, collaborating with initial character designer Ajit Jyotikumar, who would later be replaced by Adrian Barrios. Other visual inspirations for the show were the Batman.
Sorry, guys. It's that time of year.
Realism, and Shaw Brothers and Sonny Chiba films for their fighting styles. It's also very likely that Chuck co-designed the modern Foot Clan logo. One of the storyboard artists was Roy Burdine, who would later take on a more important role in the show. The show was animated in South Korea by Dongwoo Animation. The noir-inspired palette of the show was developed and maintained by Dancing Diablo. Since Dongwoo had an initial stake in the show, they had influence in artistic decisions as well. This abundance of stakeholders maintained a creative balance, preventing playmates from exerting too much control over the show. Because, don't forget, advertising money wasn't as strong as it was in the 80s, and the show relied on merchandising sales to stay on the air. Before moving to casting, the show needed to develop its rogues gallery. They wanted to ensure there were stakes by avoiding the silly or funny villains of the original cartoon. But what about the Shredder? Well, Peter didn't feel like using him anymore. The Fred Wolf cartoon had used the character ad nauseum during the Turtlemania years. It was hard to take him seriously anymore. To Lloyd, not using the Shredder would have been a mistake. The show was aimed at a new generation, unfamiliar with the character. So Lloyd and Peter agreed they would include the character, but they would keep reinventing him throughout the series, adding new pieces to the overall puzzle that was the Shredder. With this in mind, they took their time introducing him. The whole backstory left unexplored until the second season. This was one of the most notorious deviations from the original cartoon. The Shredder wasn't simply a Rokusaki, he was an Ucher, a twist that Peter was super excited about. Susan Blue, cast director of the Fred Wolf cartoon, returned to direct the new cast, something she would end up doing remotely, only flying to New York for the first few episodes. For the auditions, the actors were asked to imitate the voices of the 1990 movie cast, especially Corey Feldman's Donatello. Michael Sinterniklaas showed up uninvited, based on a friend's recommendation. After reading for multiple turtles, he was surprised to have landed Leo, as he considered it his weakest performance. This made him feel miscast during the first season, and led him to constantly worry that he would be replaced. What he didn't know was that he had been handpicked by Peter Laird, even though they didn't know where he came from. Raphael was voiced by Greg Abbey, who is usually credited as Frank Frankson. Many actors in the show worked under pseudonyms because it was non-union. They wouldn't have been able to work on it otherwise. Wayne Grayson, whose real name was Vinnie Pettit Jr., voiced Comanche. Donnie was played by Sam Riegel. The cast
JC, are you there, man?
which also led to some improvisation.
You on the phone?
This was allowed because the voices were recorded before doing the animation. Interestingly, the actors also resembled their characters. Michael would usually try to keep the rest of the cast from getting too chaotic. Wayne and Greg would goof around, and Sam would do crosswords in his booth. Sam would also sometimes record remotely from LA. Darren played Master Splinter and oversaw the ADR mix. Veronica Taylor, the actress who voiced...
Yeah, it's around that complete pile, yeah.
April, and Mark Thompson,
which I think yours was, right? It comes with the manual, too.
The Shredder was played by Scotty Ray, whose deep voice immediately distinguished this version of the character as something that escaped from Nightmare Land. Rich Underberg, who initially designed some licensing materials for the cartoon, also designed the new logo that will be used for the show, toys, and all the merchandising for the rest of the decade. Other licensing artists included Carrie Randolph, who would go on to work on some of the most iconic marketing designs and work closely with Michael Dooney, Lawrence Christmas, and Emilio Lopez. The new theme song was performed by Norman Grossfeld and Russell Velasquez. The song would go through slight variations throughout.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
A mini comic was made by Michael Dooney for Toys R Us as a promotion for the new cartoon, including promotional items for other shows in the Fox Box blog. This was the first time animated...
Yeah, do you want me to send it to the address that I sent your last package? Is that address good for you? I can just get them in a box and generate a label and power chip. I just have to deactivate them.
And ship them in December, so they would be available by the time the cartoon...
I can ship it out with tomorrow's orders tomorrow morning. Alright, cool. Just give me a second. Well, you don't need to give me a second. That works, dude. I'm going to get them delisted now, or deactivated, rather. I'll have them out for you tomorrow morning. I'll shoot you tracking on Facebook, if that works for you.
Peter and Gary's approach to this new era was more conservative. The goal was to maintain control over the brand.
Oh, okay. Message me about that then. Yeah, that's great. That works. And I'll follow up with you wherever. Cool. Yeah, I love me some Tournament Fighters. I don't have it, so
Issues 8 to 13 of volume.
Appreciate you. I think it's a place in Florida.
To get on some readers' nerves.
Damn, I'm so fucking wrong.
The more compressed storytelling style, which Peter simply wasn't interested in writing at the time.
So, yeah, it was a good guess, though. There's only, 5 states that could have been, Gulf states.
Style had changed notoriously over the years, and it was starting to be an acquired taste for some readers. Jim, however, had one of the most recognizable styles in the franchise.
Oh, hey, Pyle, did you have fucking Paleo 8?
Tales of the Cretaceous through Jeremiah Studios.
There's a bunch of stuff that I've been looking for. I keep forgetting to ask people about. It's been so busy. I haven't really been buying so much stuff. I'm going to be moving to New Hampshire, living 5 minutes down the road from Jetpack. And, I'm trying not to, get more stuff because I'm just going to have to move it in a month, you know what I mean? But I'm down to get that Tournament Fighters. That's no big deal.
But progress seemed stalled. Another significant change in licensing.
Oh, what's up, JT? Did you ever ask the other guy about that Paleo 8, by the way? The fuck? What's up, JT? Good to see you, man. We all here, we're all chilling.
The books may have not been super profitable, but the quality was much better.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Makes sense.
Following lessons from Surge, Mirage...
No, Brian. Don't go. Just kidding. Have a good day, work, bud.
Burger King, KFC...
3 hours. Less than 3 hours.
The first season aired from February to November 2003 and introduced new characters to the mythos, including Hunt, the Lintians, Nano, Garbage Man, Angel...
Yeah, dude. So, yeah. I put it in order for 50 of them. So I'm getting 50 of those, I think. But the cool thing, around that same time, Jetpack's going to release the Turtles blind bag. That's going to have it'll be a little pricier, but they're going to be pretty sick. There's going to be a chance for original art in them and stuff. But he's going to, Yeah, I don't want to say too much more than that, but it's going to be a lot of. I'm going to have a bunch of those too. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where like I ordered 50 for me, and then because I'm going to be living in New Hampshire, I don't really have to order anything anymore unless I just have to like, unless I'm like increasing. You know what I mean? Like I'll have like new stuff on New Comic Book Day now, and like it's going to be a lot different as far as like the flow of the inventory, but yeah. Yeah, I always feel weird. You know, I didn't want to be like, all right, let's do 100 because we did about 100, a little over 100 for the 13s, but I was trying to be a little conservative just in case. You know, the thing about comics is that the gimmicks like that when they die hard.
So the Turtles were a big success.
We'll see.
And brought hope for the Fox Box block, quickly becoming the network's highest rated show.
I don't know if I ran that, but yeah, hopefully. But it'll be one of those things where as long as like Jetpack has it in stock, if I run out of something, I can just like run down and grab it. It's a lot different than it is now. You know, I get like bi-weekly shipments. Which that's the reason I haven't had some new stuff from them in a while, just because I was like, I'm moving up there. We might as well, like I said, just same thing, like just ship a bunch of stuff down for me to just bring it right back up there.
Were big fans of the Turtles. Peter David agreed to do it, but with a twist. Initially, the book adapted episodes of the cartoon.
That's how they get you.
Instead of focusing on the 4 turtles, Peter told those stories from a different perspective. This decision was understandable, as straight up adapting the episodes would have been a little boring. The book had a noticeable, unique style, thanks to newcomer artist Sean Thomas and inkers Eric Sander and Rob Armstrong.
Man, that Paleo 8 is one of the only things I need. I'm trying to think of other stuff that I need. Paleo 8's a fucking. I can't believe I fucking. Yeah, anyway. Almost had that one. I even asked Jim Lawson. I was like, Jim, the only thing I'm looking for is Paleo 8. And he's like, oh, really? Like, he like looked surprised that I was looking for it. I was like, yeah, man.
The Canadian publisher, which was popular for its Transformers license, collapsed.
What's the trade go for?
And diminishing sales made it impossible for the independent publisher to continue. The license reverted back to Mirage Licensing, but the publisher was already busy publishing another book. More on that later.
Word. That's right. Don't usually buy trades, but like weird ones like that. Like I have like body count. I have body count and trade because like it's fucking impossible to find.
Me, always super serum body wash, luminous skin in 14 days. Okay.
It's not pre-made. It's handmade.
Arby's, we have the meat.
Oh, nice.
Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots.
Really?
Inspiring others to follow. In any environment, at any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to set yourself apart at graduation, decide to lead.
So, that's so, dude. Sometimes, that's funny. You're like holding it. He's like, I'll take it. Hey, none of your fucking business. Get out of here. Go do work. Get the fuck out of here, this guy. With his fucking questions. All the time with the questions. Can you run this? What's signed by Lawson? What's Gulf Shores? Fucking drive me nuts. Paleo trade paperback. I was asking if he had Paleo 8 because I know I got a number 1 from him back in the day. And then I ended up getting a couple more number 1s. And then I have 2 through 7.
This was the perfect excuse to bring in another Turtles adjacent property.
I need 8. Like, and 8 is like, it's weird. I think it was all published by Mirage theoretically, but they did like the 8th one was through the 7 and 8 were through Zeramaya Studios. So I was curious if the trade even collects 1 through 6 or if it's 1 through 8 because I think
which required support from others. The season had Mike Ryan as showrunner, with Chuck Patton still director.
Oh, that's cool, man. Does it include? Is it Gizmo 1 Volume 1 and then Gizmo Volume 2 1 through 6, or is it just Gizmo Volume 2? I know it's not just Volume 1 because there's one issue in it.
The Fugitoid, Leatherhead, the Justice Force, and Karai. The Playmates action figures began appearing at retail in January 2003.
Speaking of out for delivery, man, you do this. That's driving me nuts how long that shit's taking to get to Kodiak. It's because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does a little bit, I guess.
Which included Fleer trading cards in advance of their April release. The book also promoted the Four Turtles, Shredder, Foot Soldier, Battle Shell,
JT, did you give him the book? Or did you tell him, like, fuck off and you bought it?
The comic was illustrated by Michael Dooney, Dan Berger, Dario Brizuela, and Eric Talbot, with a design by A.C. Farley. Some other notable releases
that's funny.
This year included Abram.
Here he goes again with the fucking questions, dude. Can one of the mods ban that? Ban that guy? The questions guy?
Also released this year. Among the variants in 2000,
I do that all the time to you guys. That's my bad. No, I was talking to JT. Did say JC?
The toy line was a success and expanded back into the boys' market, perhaps thanks to the cartoon.
I didn't realize I do it, but I think I do that a lot. Sometimes I catch myself.
Sales for TMNT in particular exceeded all initial expectations. By the end of the year, TMNT.
Jason, what are you looking for these days? Just curious, not trying to sell anything. I'm just curious, like, there can't be much more that you're. I know you're doing toys now, so I guess there's some stuff there that you want. But like comic wise, what else do you need?
Toy products like video games by Konami and home video by Funimation. This included cross promotion in Burger King. I'll talk about Konami.
Interesting. Oh, no problem. And if you don't have to, if you're like, no, I don't want to list all that out right now.
TMNT Volume 4 continued its.
Because I was thinking, like, there's like a lot of the.
14 to 19 this year. But a new book.
A couple of you guys have got that Error Tales, with the number 4 on it. Like, that's been like a book I've wanted for like a long time, but never owned. I've owned almost everything else. I've even owned the first print number 1. I've owned the second print number 1, and the third print number 1. But I've never actually like held that Error book in front of me.
The new book gave Dan Berger, Steve Murphy, Jim Lawson, Eric Talbot, and Ryan Brown the chance to.
Yeah. Okay. So the number 3, the Error.
The book opened with a story by Murphy and artist Dario Brizuela, who was hired by Murphy via Mike Hawthorne.
Word.
Dario worked remotely from Argentina and never met Murphy.
That's not much like left to go for you.
Would eventually take on the 2012 animated series comic book. More on that in the next chapter in this playlist. The way the book was run involved Mirage staffers pitching synopses to him, who would then pick up the ones he was interested in. The book came out bi-monthly at first, to cover the months skipped by Volume 4. In January 2004, Foxbox was rebranded as 4Kids TV, but it wouldn't be the only significant change taking place this year. The show expanded to weekdays on the Cartoon Network, premiering episodes there and on 4Kids TV for the following 2 years. The third season aired from October.
I want those roller skates
to April 2005.
That were posted in the Discord the other day. Like, I actually do want to, like, I think Blue Jack posted it. I want to, like, reach out and be like, yo. I think I said how much. Like, I was actually, like, dead serious. I would buy those roller skates.
Roy, a huge fan of the original comics, had been working on the show as a storyboard.
The roller skates?
Previous seasons. Chuck's departure from the show was due to burnout and creative differences with 4Kids Entertainment. Freelance writer Christopher Yost joined the franchise, recommended by writer Greg Johnson to showrunner Mike Ryan. It was thanks to Yost that we got most of the.
I don't know, no idea. I could try to look them up right now, but yeah, no clue what they would go for.
Mission and the EPF were a necessary innovation for the show, as the Shredder saga was reaching its conclusion and new enemies needed to be introduced. Roy Burdine also contributed.
It's like about $50. They're between like 30 on the low end and then 50 on the high end. But they are all, I don't know, and maybe I'm just looking at kid sizes too. I don't know how these ones are 100. What size are they? Yeah, they're all kids though. None of them would fit. Oh, there's those bad girls. There's some cool. There's some cool turtles. Yeah, those ones look like they're about $30 to $50. Yeah, all kid size. It does suck. Not that I would roller skate anyway. Towards the my early 30s, with the girlfriend I was dating at the time, one of the hobbies we decided to try was rollerblading, and holy shit, man, I wiped out a couple times. I was like, nah, we're done with the rollerblades now. Like, no.
Footfire Mystic, Silver Century, Fugitoid, Utrum, Commander Mozart, Baxter Stockman, Usagi Yojimbo, and the Ultimate Daimyo. A key tie-in wave this year was centered around the Battle Nexus. Some vehicles included the Turtle Tunneler and the Shell Sub. Toy sales grew by 36%, with a 29% increase in the U.S. and 67% increase internationally over 2003. Despite continued U.S. retail,
Seriously.
Overall decline in toy sales.
Exactly.
Toys was among the fastest growing toy companies. This increase was also attributed to their partnerships with 4Kids, Disney, Cartoon Network, and Nickelodeon. Retail consolidation in the U.S. had been underway since the late 90s and was considered to have peaked in 2004. Big chains began acquiring smaller retailers, which in turn led to stiffer competition. Walmart, for example, had overtaken Toys R Us as the #1 toy retailer in the U.S. by 1999. FAO Toys filed for bankruptcy in late 2003, followed by KD Toys in early 2004. By mid-2004, Toys R Us was up for sale. With the disappearance of smaller retailers, it's estimated that 80% of the toy sales in 2004 came from Walmart, Target, and Toys R Us. TMNT had grown 55% worldwide, expanding into over 45 countries. It continued ranking among the best-selling action figure brands, finishing the year in the top 3 in the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Scandinavia. This expansion was expected to reach Spain and Italy in early 2005. But Playmates Toys wasn't the only player in Hong Kong. Thomas Gregg, producer of the original trilogy of live-action movies, was now working for Imaji Animation Studios. When he joined the company, they realized he had a history with the franchise and asked him if he wanted to work with the Turtles again. Tom knew that doing a live-action movie was very expensive, so going the CG route was probably the best option to bring the Turtles to the big screen. Tom then got in contact with Peter Laird and Mirage, and with the Hallmark project seemingly dead, he managed to get the rights to produce a new animated film. Work on the new movie began in the summer of 2005 under the direction and writing of Kevin Monroe. His take was a more action-oriented, less cowabunga approach, a vision he communicated to producer Galen Walker, who then arranged for him to meet Peter Laird in Northampton. Kevin Monroe suspected he wasn't going to get the approval from Peter, so just in case,
oops, I put it on the wrong channel.
Of TMNT #1 for
Peter's Son,
hoping to at least get something out of it. After the meeting, Kevin opened his copy to check Peter's signature and found a drawing of Raphael with the message, "Dear Kevin, make a good movie, or else." This was how he found out he was in. Several ideas were floated, including an outer space adventure featuring Triceratons and other space villains. But Kevin eventually narrowed his focus on the family.
Wait, why don't you forward it to its own
or whatever? Took place at Imaji's LA studio, with most of the animation done in Hong Kong before being sent to LA for post-production. A treatment and promo were put together to find a distributor, but they were unfortunately met with skepticism. After the success of Spider-Man and the X-Men, the Turtles felt like superheroes that time forgot. Companies were unsure whether the franchise was just for kids or for all ages, given its popularity in cartoons.
Oh man,
The movie eventually found a domestic
welcome in, guys. Check the show notes for info on the show. Let me know if I can help you with anything. All the turtle stuff we have today is in the auction
Peter Laird
tab.
was executive producer on the film in an attempt to gain greater creative control and avoid the disappointments he suffered with the last two films. Munro considered making the movie a continuation.
Give us a follow for regular turtle shows. We hold them 3 times a week: Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays. Action figures on Tuesdays, comics on Mondays, and mix on Saturday.
Superman Returns was going in a similar direction by continuing from the second movie. By following the events of the first one, Kevin wanted to avoid a complete reboot that would require retelling the same story. The idea was supported by Peter, but eventually rejected by Warner and the Weinstein Company, who preferred a clean reboot. As a result of this disagreement, the film exists as some sort of soft reboot. It's a spin-off universe from the 1990 film that still stands on its own. Being seen as a continuation meant they didn't need to use the Shredder. However, finding early stories to adapt became a minefield, as most had already been adapted in one way or another by previous projects. They settled on a new villain and introduced Karai as a setup to bring the Shredder back in a sequel. This was also Karai's debut on the silver screen. While Warner Brothers did some meddling in the later phases of the project, most of the production went unnoticed, giving them enough freedom to tell their story. Volume 4 continued with its schedule for another year, printing issues 20 to 25. However, 2005 was a busy year for Mirage in general. Peter remastered the first issue of Volume 1 in digital toning, dialogue corrections, and lettering. His idea was to correct typos and showcase the ink work a little better, which was muddied by the duo shades in the original printing. He had good intentions, but some fans saw this as an attempt to remove Kevin Eastman from that story, something that wasn't really possible, as they completed each other's work. Adding to Peter's worries was the book's poor sales. He revealed that after the first issue, Volume 4 never made a profit, and
Welcome in, guys. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
4,000 copies per issue at the time. The cost of producing them exceeded revenue. The only reason the book was still being published was that it was his passion project. Getting a little stressed by the constant demands of the franchise, Peter even hinted at moving to an annual schedule so he could take a break. On the other hand, Tales of the TMNT went monthly, publishing issues 7 to 18 this year. Finally, on the other side of the world, the Turtles found their way back into the Italian magazine Il Giornalino, with brand new stories set in the 4Kids universe for a few years. The fourth season of the cartoon aired from September 2005 to April 2006, and introduced new characters to the lore, such as the Ancient One, Yukio Mishima, and the Ninja Tribunal. Classic characters like Cousin Sid, Jonna, and Robin O'Neill made the jump to the cartoon as well. With the Shredder gone, most of the attention moved to other characters, Ruff, who took over the flame, Agent Bishop, who accidentally created a mutant breakout, and Hunt, who had learned enough from his former master to run the Purple Dragons like a criminal organization. The season's showrunner was still Michael Ryan, with character designs by Adrian Barrios and Robert Bendel. This season's known for its improved color and lighting quality, but it's also infamously known for an episode, Insane in the Membrane, that had to be taken off the air for being too gruesome. This raised Fox's awareness that the show needed more supervision, and would result in another episode being scrapped the following season. More on that later. 2005 was still a good year for the franchise. New releases this year included Jen, Hamato Yoshi, Feudal Shredder, and Karai. Some figures also included DVDs, including single episodes, a necessary marketing gimmick for a complicated year. All the established action figure brands were negatively impacted by the launch of competitive product lines based on major feature film franchises that dominated the category. Despite this decline in sales, TMNT remained among the top 5 best-selling Spain, Scandinavia, Australia, and Canada. It also finished the year among the leaders in leaders in Germany.
Pamper Swaddlers Keep Dry Liner keeps baby comfortably dry.
How's it going?
AI is changing the rules in tech. Build the skills to keep pace at WGU. WGU.edu.
JC, I can show you how to do it. If you're there, let me know if you're there or not. I can show you. I'll make it for us, but I can show you how to do it too, real quick on here.
Jersey Mike's chicken salad sub is back by popular demand.
Just chilling, dude. All right, cool. Here. So if you're on the app on your phone, there's where you type shit. There's a little plus button right there. Ooh. Tap it at the bottom there. You can add a poll. Oop, and you just type in the answers. I can make this one for us. I think the way, because you have to do text, I think the way we'll do it is like I'll post them both and do like A and B.
Volume 4 saw only 3 issues go to print in 2006, leading to a long hiatus until 2008. Issue number 28 would end up being the last easy-to-find issue of the run, for reasons I'll explore later.
Why is that not?
The long break was caused by Peter
There we go.
burned out.
So I have like left and right, A and B.
Peter's attention to the Tales book also dwindled. As a result, he approved some stories this year that he later had no recollection of. Among these were some of the tales taking place in the potential future of the Mirage Universe's timeline. Tales of the TMNT was going through an impressive year. A 4-issue Leonardo spin-off miniseries by Lawson saw print, and Tales began getting collected, albeit not in chronological order. Starting with issue number 21, the Turtles began a saga of team-ups with the Wild West Cowboys of New Mesa. But there was even more comic book news this year, apart from the main books. Steve Murphy published a 3-issue miniseries through Image Comics titled Umbra, which he did with Mike Hawthorne. It was a story about a forensic scientist investigating a mystery.
Let's set it for 24 hours and see how that goes.
Killed by a Cold War-era Soviet bullet. The story was nominated for 2 Harvey Awards and would later receive a director's cut for the trade paperback. Eric Talbot collaborated with Inks on the first issue. Internationally, the Turtles were still getting reprints. Spanish publisher Norma Editorial acquired the rights to reprint Volume 1, but it quickly ran into problems with material beyond its reach. The forbidden issue in question was the team-up with Service, the best-selling issue Kevin and Peter did, which introduced Renette and Savante Romero. For reasons never disclosed, Dane didn't want that story reprinted anymore, leaving Mirage with a problem, as it was the one that introduced 2 classic characters. To fill the gap, Peter and Steve Murphy tried to come up with a replacement story, which ended up in Jim Lawson's hands for penciling. Steve and Jim came up with a retelling.
All right, I got it up, but I voted.
Didn't undo the original adventure.
I'm doing my part.
The new version was published in the 2nd volume of Oxford Ninja in 2007. However, the story wouldn't be used for the American market in reprints because Peter managed to get Dave's approval.
Oh, sorry, JT. I might have missed JT. Sorry, man.
The story titled The Paradox of Chodnovsky would then get picked up and translated by Turtles Club in Russia, published in 2011, 2016, and 2024. The latest versions also included a page that was missing from the Spanish edition. The tale wouldn't be officially published in English until it was included in IDW's Best of Renette special in 2025. The new version had
I see what you did there. That was good. That was fun. Did you see what he did there, Brian? He got you. He got you real good. Now Brian's gonna quit. We're never gonna see him again. He just got so stunted on right there. Oh no, Brian. I know you weren't expecting that today. I don't know why JC does stuff like that, man. I can't stop him though. He's an unstoppable force.
honoring Monogosh's mission. This premise was a response to Playmate's need to introduce a new.
Yo, I'm trading those Power Rangers action figures for Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter for Super Nintendo complete for the pile. I can't. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait.
While the season was in production, retailers were asking Playmates to shake up the line to bring in new customers who were back existing ones.
It was my favorite Turtles game as a kid.
Original cartoon. The culprit of the lack of enthusiasm was.
So it's a lot of fun. It is in the Cowabunga collection. Yep. Highly recommend it. It's a fighting game, but Konami made the engine, and it's like because Konami obviously made all turtle games, and it's weird. Tournament Fighters for each system is like completely different too, because I think there's a NES Tournament Fighters and a Genesis Tournament Fighters, both totally different versions of the Super Nintendo Tournament Fighter. That's the one I grew up on. Steve Levine used to have the original art for the cover of Tournament Fighters, which is like it's Armagon and Donatello like fighting. It's so fucking dope, dude. When in his store, Shellback Artworks, he had the painting on his wall, and I asked him if he still had it because I was straight up gonna kind of buy it, like regardless of what he was asking for it, kind of deal at the time, which was 2 or 3 weeks ago for Comic Book Day. But you don't have it.
The 5th season was aired in various forms from August 2006 to May 2008. Initially, with some episodes available on demand, with the intention of releasing the whole season on DVD in 2007. As I mentioned earlier, one episode, Nightmares Recycled,
Yeah, man, it sucks.
The season. The reason for the outrage from the Fox Broadcasting Standards and
I wish that the online worked.
The idea that Hun and Garbage Man were conjoined twins and surgically separated, with the Garbage Man literally getting thrown away as garbage. It's unclear how far into production it was, but according to a couple of sources behind the show, the script was already recorded. Some animation was already done by the time the decision was made. Here's where the season numbering gets complicated. While it was the 5th season to air, Fast Forward was technically the 6th season, taking place after the events of the Lost season. The show continued for the previous 5 seasons, but introduced a new world, with new supporting characters like Cody Jones and Serling. It was also this season that the show started experimenting with more computer-generated art.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that, like, sadly, they either can't afford it or, like, they need to, like, renew the license in order to keep, like, the live portion of the game, which I guess that would be going, you know? But I want to play so bad. Like, imagine playing the arcade, like, Turtles in Time and stuff online. Like, that'd be fucking awesome.
Unlike previous seasons, where different color palettes were used for various types of lighting, only the daytime color palette was used throughout the season.
Kodiak, welcome.
Lighting was also simplified compared to the previous seasons. Budget constraints also motivated.
Yeah, dude. I mean, honestly, it was one of those things where even when I bought it, when I checked to see if it was online, I was like, it is? I was like, how the fuck did they do that? Because, like, you know, imagine, like, taking the code from an arcade machine from the 90s. Like, it was never intended to work like that. Like, I don't know how the hell they did it.
Jammerhead, the Street Phantoms, Shakanabo, Viral, Torben Zix, and the Dark Turtles.
Morning, sir.
Peter's other creation,
Top of the morning to you.
Was also revisited, and even Ryan Brown's Wild West Cowboys of Boot Mesa made a cameo. The new showrunner was comic book writer Joe Kelly, and the character design was in the hands of Adrian Barrios, who worked closely with Roy Burdine on developing the new
Doing Turtle Tuesday action figure show.
Also took over voice direction this season. To mark the beginning of a new era, a new theme song by Jake Siegler, Alex Walker, and John Siegler was created to describe the new status quo for the cast. The show continued its syndication run on Cartoon Network, airing in 75 international territories and 20 languages. The season aired from July 2006 to October 2007. Despite the big creative contributions this season brought to the franchise, fans weren't impressed with the changes. The tonal shift was too jarring, and a whole season filled with open plots was skipped to put Fast Forward on the air. The show may have gained and lost viewers, ending up pretty much where it started in merchandising sales. 2006 was a transition year for Playmates. They had to readjust to fast forward while still working on the movie merchandise.
Well, how we doing?
Year. Among the figures released
And
this
doing
year
Kodiak.
were Nobody, Mutated Dawn, Rat King, Quarry, Agent Bishop, and Baxter Robot.
This bad boy's a previews exclusive. Got all 4 of the Mirage ones.
TMNT opened
The
on
Donatello's a
March
chase.
2007.
He's black and white.
Topped the box office with an opening weekend gross of $25 million. It ended up staying in theaters for 91 days, grossing $96 million worldwide. Not bad for a $34 million budget. Apart from the story and direction from Kevin Monroe, the movie had main character designs by Jeff Matsuda, Jose Lopez, and Tom Perkins. Simon Burton worked on production design, giving the film its distinct look of wet textures and noir lighting. In fact, the movie was lit like a noir black and white film first, and colors were added later. Giving each turtle a distinct look wasn't exactly groundbreaking in 2007. Even the live-action movies had done that. But it was the first time that the turtles were visually different from each other. Leonardo was given a V shape to make him look more heroic. Raphael was given predatory front-facing eyes because he was the muscle. Michelangelo was given a wider-eyed, innocent look to denote his childish disposition. Donatello was made more symmetrical and lean, with a larger cranium. The cast included recognizable voices such as Patrick Stewart, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Chris Evans, but they intentionally chose lesser-known actors for the Turtles to add some authenticity. Unfortunately, Mako Iwamatsu, who voiced Splinter, died of throat cancer before the movie could be completed. His lines were completed by Greg Baldwin, who had also inherited Mako's role in Avatar: The Last Airbender. The film had an original score composed by Marco Beltrami, which was considered too dark, so they replaced it with a new score by composer Klaus Badell. The movie also had a timely soundtrack that included bands like Gym Class Heroes, Jet, Cobra Starship, POD, and Big City Rock, among others. Despite being an animated movie, TMNT had an alternate opening and ending, and at least one deleted scene that were included for the home video release as special features. These edits were made to achieve a faster, more consistent pacing. Despite its initial box office success and an A- cinema score, the movie received mixed reviews. Critics were not impressed, and fans of the previous films didn't care for the more serious tone and lack of recognizable characters. This was something that Mirage knew could happen. They could have made an artistic integrity trade-off to reach a broader market audience, but the memories of the last 2 sequels were still too fresh to go in that direction again. The movie had to stay close to the tone of the book, and it's not like they were being naive. Comic book movies were starting to go in that trend, thanks to films like Sin City, Hellboy, and Batman Begins. Nevertheless, at least the film reached kids and adults. While the movie made a profit, there were too many partners involved, so profits were minimal. Monroe was supposed to write the sequel, with an option to direct. The Return of the Shredder was a possible plot element, and it would have led to a third movie based on City at War. In it, Mikey would have joined Karai, the Foot Clan, wearing a black headband in Japan, and would have returned to New York for the third act. Since Leo and Raph were at the center of the 2007 film, the sequel would have centered around Donnie and Mikey. Unfortunately, Imaji faced financial struggles after Astro Boy underperformed in 2009.
Summer is here, so you know what that means? It's cookout season, and CVS has got you covered. From a ball for the kids to bug spray, a fan because it is hot outside, or even a pair of sandals, CVS has all of your summer essentials.
Grow budding skills into blooming opportunities. Whether you're jumpstarting a new career or pursuing your passion, Central Piedmont Continuing Education classes are here to help. Don't get stuck. Get started.
We've been where you're going for the long haul, not just a long weekend. We leverage several lifetimes of experience to protect you when the unexpected knocks your trip off track. Choose Allianz Travel Insurance and chart your path with confidence.
Plans for a live-action movie were already underway. To coincide with the film, Mirage released 5 prequel comics with interconnected covers, telling stories with Raph, Mikey, Donnie, April, and Leo.
We got those. We got those in stock.
Monroe and Peter Laird, which means they were canon to the film. These stories were also broken into installments, recolored, and published as features inside the TMNT comic magazine in the UK. And as was tradition at the time, there was also a movie adaptation. Those 6 issues dedicated to the film's universe compensated for the lack of Volume 4 chapters released in 2007. Peter was burned out. He felt it had been a long time since he had been able to enjoy writing and spend time with his family. Fortunately, Tales had another strong year. The Turtles and the Cowboys continued crossing over in 2032, and Raphael received his spin-off 4-issue miniseries with Bill Melange, Jim Lawson, and Aaron Talbot. Artist Sophie Campbell got in contact with Steve Murphy, who found a way for her to do some covers for the miniseries and a frontispiece for Tales. However, things were about to change. Steve Murphy, tired of chasing artists to deliver on time, decided to step away from the editor role. Seeing how the 25th anniversary
Welcome, you guys. Check the show notes for info on the show. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
To organize a special celebration. In his place, Dan Berger stepped in as editor of Tales. Managing freelancers to keep the book on a monthly basis was hard. It would sometimes take a full year to complete an issue of Tales. Mirage creators had priority when pitching stories, and outside freelancers came second. However, because he needed a constant flow of stories, Dan ended up submitting most of the synopses, which is why he wrote so many issues himself. This would also explain why so many issues were written by Steve before. Mirage also published a Treasury edition of Tales Volume 1, with a new Jim Lawson story replacing the frontispieces throughout
Nice,
the book.
Jack. Yeah.
This never reprinted story, while
Yeah,
technically
baby.
non-canon, tied up some loose ends regarding the future of the Mirage timeline. As I mentioned earlier, the TMNT published by
You got it, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
as well as original stories based on the Fast Forward season.
What else we got here, guys?
Colored tale of the TMNT.
So I've been through almost everything except for like a few of the reissue sets. Some other stuff too. I got an unboxing on the other side of the room that's listed. I knew I was going to do this. I was trying to like pace it out. So I go up a little past 4, but.
It would also brought the Turtles back to the present by the end of the season. However, Playmates wanted the Turtles back in the present, with a style closer to the figures they were producing. Season 7, now known as Season X, had to be abandoned early in production, but some of its episodes and plots would be recycled for the actual 7th season. This was yet another sudden change that left the creative team with an empty programming slot to fill. Fortunately or not, they still had the 5th season waiting to be released, which helped them fill the gap between the seasons. It was also during this time that a crossover between the 2003 and 1987 Turtles was finally approved. The team started working in the background to make it a reality for the 25th anniversary. While this was a suggestion from Playmates that could do something with the original storyline, the company decided not to fund the movie. This gave Mirage and 4Kids more creative control over something that didn't sell toys. In other news, since the WB and UPN merged to form the CW.
Oh, is that what happened? I always wondered what happened to UPN, actually. So UPN actually became the CW.
That slot opened. 4Kids made a 5-year deal to handle the 7-12 block starting in September 2008. 4Kids would manage all national advertising and would share ad revenue with the CW. The latter's share would be applied against a guarantee 4Kids would pay them annually. This meant that 4Kids was now running 2 competing blocks in network television. Despite major competition for
Grab back, guys, just gonna grab a drink.
properties this year, the movie gave the Turtles a boost. Unfortunately, the mortgage crisis started affecting toy sales, and the boom didn't last. Overall, Playmates ended up in the red. This resulted in another year of negative growth for the toy industry overall, with sales down 2% compared to 2006. And if that wasn't enough to worry about, there was also a problem in 2007. Mattel discovered that their Chinese manufacturer had been using paint with excessive levels of lead. This pressured Mattel to recall many toys from the shelves. While this did have the company considered that low sales could have been caused by the general public's fear of toys produced in China. As I mentioned, the big star of the year was the movie line, which included April, Casey, Splinter, Max Winters, Karai, and many more, including some 2-packs with the Generals. They later released variants for the movie figures, including the Shredder, who was absent from the movie. Other movie releases included the Cowabunga Carl Party Band and a Monster Action Tower playset. Fast Forward also had its own line this year, with releases like Splinter, Cody, Serling, Corbin Zix, Jammerhead, Viral, Choconobo, the Dark Turtles, and of course, the Turtles themselves. Vehicles included the Hyper Shell and the Hover HQ. In the previous chapter of History in a Half Shell, I spoke about the role fans played in keeping the franchise alive during its darkest times. So, what were they up to in this decade? Well, let's go back to July 2001, when a site known as the Technodrome, which had been around since late 1999, launched its own forum. While it had a slow start, the forums eventually became the site's main identity. By the time the cartoon came out, old fans, new fans, and Mirage and 4Kids staffers were all visiting, interacting with the forums. The site would eventually be upgraded in 2004, achieving the look and feel it has today. Fans who survived the internet era of web-ridden and free hosting servers remained as guardians of the franchise. This included superfans like Michelle Ivy, Toka, and Rosangela, who became involved with the franchise in some capacity during this decade. Thanks to fans like Toka, the administrators of the Technodrome, Rosangelo, and Michael Vaughn, new generations can still find pieces of lost media that would have otherwise been gone with discontinued sites and pre-digitalization of print media. One particular Turtle fan found herself in a peculiar situation that turned her into one of the most famous shellheads in the United States. Michelle Ivy was already a superfan in the 90s, but when VH1's Totally Obsessed posted an ad on Craigslist seeking collectors, she replied, and the production paid her a visit in June 2004 for a 3-day shoot. Unfortunately, Totally Obsessed had a particular way of representing collectors, so the whole thing was edited with a sensationalistic vibe, even asking her to pretend that she ate pizza every day. Michelle's dad was quite smart, and he filmed the behind-the-scenes of the whole process, proving that it was all highly exaggerated for TV. A year later, Michelle acted as an uncredited script consultant for the CGI movie. She was asked to verify lore consistency, as they were interested in featuring things that had never been done before in the movies. According to Michelle, it's thanks to her that Raphael used his sai to break Leo's sword. Later, in 2007, Michelle would start her own titled Cowabunga.
Yeah.
There, Michelle posted many interviews and behind-the-scenes footage, including a visit to the set of the next mutation.
I wouldn't use the C word. Yeah, she was, yeah.
In 2008, a writer by the name
She's
of
that
Mark
one.
Pellegrini was let go from his writing job. So to continue writing everything, he decided to start a blog titled TMNT Entity. This blog is to this day one of the most popular sources.
I don't know if I'm friends with her or just follow her on Facebook or whatever. And like, it's weird. She used to have this website called Cowabunga Corner, and she would do like shows like every week. She would post up like videos and stuff, and like it's like everything's gone. Like her entire, like, she might have Cowabunga Corner stuff still on YouTube, or I don't know if it's at the private or what. But I like having. It's weird. It's like they've been going through some stuff. Like they like lost their house, and she's got some disease where she can't work. I don't know what it is.
Stephen Reese from TurtleVan.com created GoGreenMachine.org with other TMNT fans.
But she's got some like crazy stuff in her collection, like the heads from like the third movie. One of those things.
Two video game companies held the rights for TMNT during this decade.
Okay, now yeah, your YouTube channel's still up.
It was responsible for some of the most popular TMNT games in history. But that was in the 90s. In 2003, Konami developed a beat-em-up based on the show, which came out in October.
She took out a bank loan. I think she paid $2,000 for it, if I recall. And like she didn't have the money, so she like went to the bank and like took out a personal loan to get the head. And then like she paid off the loan, and the guy reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm selling the other one," and I think she paid like the same for the second one, so she got two heads for like $4,000 to $5,000, which is ridiculous.
Interestingly, the game included the
she could. I think like people say that to her all the time, and it pisses her off. Like, they're like, "Why don't you just sell you some of your collection or whatever?" She's like, "I don't want to sell my collection or whatever."
Groundbreaking, the game was successful for Konami, selling 1.4.
Yeah, she hasn't made a YouTube video in 5 years.
This represented an overall increase in sales compared to the previous year. By 2005, Konami had a winning formula, so they released a third game based on the cartoon called Mutant Nightmare. It followed the events from the third season, so it included characters like Agent Bishop, Ultimate Draco, and the Triceratons. Similar to the previous game, Mutant Nightmare included Turtles in Time as an unlockable. The game was successful enough, selling approximately 1.5 million copies. It also received a Nintendo DS port. That same year, Konami released Mutant Melee, which wasn't based on any particular plot from the show. Instead, the player could pick up to 22 unlockable characters to use in 4 play modes. This one wasn't well received. Unfortunately for Konami, their team...
But dude, I mean, for the story that I told you, I mean, you know, whatever, but she was around for like a lot of stuff. Like she used to go to like the Words and Pictures Museum and like was hanging around those guys like since the 90s. So, you know, so like if you look at some of her content is like definitely worth like checking out for sure. Like I said, there's that whole perspective on it that you know they kind of had themselves internally about it or whatever. But like, you know, she got interviews with a ton of people, and like I said, she's got home video of her. Like, dude, she's the only person who has video of some of these like old Turtle events from the 90s and stuff. You know, and it's interesting to see.
2007, they produced the game for the movie.
You know,
Xbox 360, Wii, PlayStation 2.
Because I never got to go to the Words and Pictures Museum. I can't remember what year it closed, but it was at the time like something like that was on my radar. And it had already closed. It's Kevin Eastman's museum in Massachusetts, dude. It was a museum or an idea he had where basically, you know, like comics for a long time were considered what was called like low art, right? Like it's like not very like it wasn't real art, and like the Words and Pictures Museum kind of set out to be like no, it is art, and because people don't show comic art in museums, you know what I mean? But Kevin made a museum that was entirely dedicated to just that. So there used to be a lot of cool Turtle original art working there. They held Turtle events there all the time, where they'd hold an event and all the Turtle people would, you know, show up, kind of thing. So if you find old look it up, man. Words and Pictures Museum. Like say, look up like old there's YouTube videos of I don't know if they call them parties or what, but like the events they'd hold there.
A second razor for my pubic area.
Me too.
Made specifically for coarse hair and thin skin. Venus.
Am I an extraordinary man? Yes.
Depop has no selling fees.
if that still works. It does.
After a year without new chapters, Volume 4 returned with issue number 29. This time, for free. It would later get a limited run of 1,000 copies. Apart from the low demand for the book, this change was due to Peter's frustration.
Man, I should have brought these with me. Got them signed by Santoluca. Like I have like the whole set of his figures from Best Action.
With ads,
Didn't even think of it.
Tiresome to him. While this was fine for other publishers, Peter couldn't cope with it, given the cost and the book's bi-monthly nature. He was also frustrated by the long wait between the book's printing and its reaching readers' hands. So his new publishing strategy was this. He would release the book first as a digital PDF on wowio.com and in a lower resolution on ninjaturtles.com, all for free. For those who really wanted a physical copy, they could order one through Mirage's mail order at $10 plus shipping. With the first 100 copies,
yeah, he was chill. He's funny. He was taking breaks like every hour to go out and smoke cigarettes and shit. Like kind of go out and like. There's a couple times where I went outside or whatever, and like he was out there smoking cigarettes.
Tales of the TMNT, however, continued its distribution system as usual. Now with Dan Berger as editor, the Turtles teamed up with one of his characters, Gutwalla, the gingerbread man, on issue number 51. The Turtles also had another team up with the Wild West Cowboys of Moon Mesa in the following issue. But not least, superfan artist and historian Toka provided a pinup for issue number 48.
Dude, the Casey blanks are so fucking cool. Super jelly about those. I wish I got one of those for myself.
The story produced by Jim Lawson and Eric Talbot was a sci-fi take on what was going on in the United States at the time. As licensing arrangements mushroomed to include 80 US and 200.
Yeah, I think so.
The franchise.
It didn't smell like it. And when I caught him smoking, he was just outside the door, so he was smoking butts when I saw him. Dude, I'm pretty sure that whole table was like, his whole table was like, yeah, man, like $10, like the prints are free, man, and like $10 for a signature, man.
The Turtles were in excellent hands, but he was going to seek other artistic callings. But don't worry, there's still plenty of Kevin Eastman in the following chapters of History in a Half Shell. Starting with the canceled second season of Fast Forward, the production team went digital. This meant that the official 8th season would be the only one produced with a digital pipeline. The Lost season was finally aired this year, providing fans with the long-awaited conclusion to the arcs of the first 4 seasons. Since Playmates wanted another reset in setting and style for the show, all partners involved need to agree on the new direction. Many sub-brandings and concepts were discussed. One was codenamed Superworld, and it would have had something to do with a card game the Turtles would have used. Another pitch was TMNT Overload, and it would have featured our Turtles teaming up with their younger selves in the present. Their enemy would have resided in the virtual world, most likely Viral or the Cyber Shredder. To Peter, having 2 versions of each character felt redundant, and while there were some successful cases, kids were usually not inspired by other kids. It also went against Peter's restrictions on adding more Turtles that could make the original form less unique. Playmates made one pitch titled Ultimate TMNT, which would have blended multiple universes into one new event.
Welcome in, guys. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Just kind of running through our action figures here, mostly new stuff. We do have a little bit of older vintage loose stuff, but there's not much of that left now. Check the auction tab for all the Turtles figures we got. If you like auction tab type figure, should pull everything up. Let me know if you have any offers. I want to.
The Turtles suddenly got pupils. If you're wondering why 4 kids in Mirage,
I'm putting on Kyle Bunker Corner, man.
So much, you'll have to remember
since I was just talking about it, let's see if we use like a words and pictures, Kyle Bunker Corner.
With the abundance of kids channels, advertising money.
Because for some reason I thought she'd set her channel to private, but looks like it's all up there.
Cross marketing to sell toys, so they needed each other.
Here we go. Here you go, JC. Just Cowabunga Corner.
Everyone, welcome back to Cowabunga Corner. In this episode, we are talking about the Words and Pictures Museum membership parties. These were fantastic events held once a year. I would go to these parties, and it was so thrilling to be there. I started my very first year of learning about the Words and Pictures.
Dude, I guess so.
1994.
It's ridiculous.
Every year up to 1999. So
what about that one that said June 1st? Is that one switch to June 5th now?
Originally, they held parties at the Pearl Street Club, which was a place where we had to go upstairs, and they had their bar, their dance floor, and tables where we all sat at.
This one's pretty cool. It's the Battle Ready edition. It's a con exclusive.
I really enjoyed it. In fact, that was the area where I really feel like I got to know Kevin. Kevin Eastman at the 1994
Good afternoon. How you doing, dude?
party. We
Welcome
were
in.
hanging out, talking, and I just really enjoyed that. It was a surprise to even be there since the day before we didn't
Hope you're having a good
know
day.
the Words and Pictures Museum existed. We had so much fun there, and then it just became something that we had to do normally. We would get to see some people every year that we look forward to. We started making normal friends out in Northampton, so it became a
Awesome, dude.
and I enjoyed it every
I hope you
year.
enjoy it,
I
man.
look forward to this one.
I truly do. It's yeah, you definitely sniped a good one. You got the McFarlane cover, if I recall.
Now, we started off at the Roundhouse Museum, which was a smaller building than where they ended up moving to. That's why they were having the parties at the Pearl Street, because it did not have as much room. So after they moved into the location,
that was it, man. I'm pretty sure.
Parties there instead of over at the Pearl Street, which was great. This
man. I hope it's in great condition. I hope you enjoy it.
My favorite floor being the second floor, but the parties were usually held up on the fourth floor. So we'd go up there. They'd have their setup up there for us all to hang out, little tables and stuff. But it went around the full museum. Everyone was throughout the place. You can have the people who was hanging out on the third floor just talking, the people on the second floor drawing on the electric chalkboard or the normal chalkboard, goofing off around on there. And there was the people enjoying the main room where everyone was hanging out, which was the fourth floor. And that was the main place to go. If they were going to have a speech or something, it was going to happen up on the fourth floor. It was so thrilling to be there for this. And we got to get time to go around, look at the different displays that they would have up. There was the rotating display that was on the third floor, so there was always something different each year on that floor to go and observe what artists they had on display. And it was fun because they would have an event made out of the weekend. So there would be like an autograph session thing during the day, and then in the evening was the party. And the guests from the autograph session would be at the party hanging out. And one of the most fun events that I remember during
We do have the con exclusive Donnie for this one too, I think. Yep.
Win, lose, or draw. We were divided into teams, and some of the guests were on each team. And let's just say that drawing board, well, one of the guests was not too thrilled that they were losing. So the drawing board, well, it went for a run. The guest that decided to go for a run with the drawing board was Evan, the creator of Milk and Cheese comics. Bam, it was gone, and we had a lot of laughs. There was so many great memories at this event. I remember one time Kevin Eastman coming up and handing me an envelope. Earlier that day, I asked him for a sketch of the Four Turtles. So when he handed me that envelope, I thought it was going to be that sketch I asked for. And then he's like, this is for your collection. You can open it now or later. I'm like, oh, I'll open it later. And so I ran off and went and talked to one of my friends. And on the way back up to the main floor, I'm finally opening up this envelope to find an original artwork page from Mirage Volume 1. My jaw dropped. I was not expecting it, but it really, really made my day. And that was the party in 1998.
Can you imagine that, JC?
It was a fantastic artwork piece with all four turtles, Splinter, April and Casey watching the second time around shop burned down after the foot attack. So, this is very early on, issue 10. Wonderful stuff. Eastman and Laird art. It was signed to me, and it was a complete surprise. I had no clue he was going to do that. So I had to run up there and thank him. I was in such shock. In 1997, we had a lot of our friends there. In fact, we did a story about that in May 2012 on Cowabunga Corner. I wrote about that party because a lot of us got together from the TMNT mailing list. We had our Leonardo, we had Ria Angelo, we had Mr. Lee too, a bunch of us, Ninjara. Everyone got together to hang out. It was a couple-day event that weekend because Kevin Eastman did a speech on Thursday, and then Saturday was the party. So we had a weekend in Northampton with a handful of Turtle fans. And I remember that weekend I got a lot of my scripts of Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation autographed by Kevin. So if you want to hear that story of how that happened, check out the write-up on cowabungacorner.com. And we also did a lot of stuff in 1999. We actually had 2 parties that year, 2 big parties, as we were saying goodbye to the Words and Pictures. So there was the fan goodbye
Take
party,
care, dude.
which was just a
Have a good
handful
meeting.
of Turtle fans that came for a Peter Laird autograph session for his book, Planet Racers. And we were able to get the museum for one day where we were able to hold a Ninja Turtle party on the 2nd floor, which has already been covered here on Cowabunga Corner. But that was one party out of 2. The other one is the closing party, which has also been covered here, where it was an invite-only member party, and it was the final time I went to the museum. But hard stuff, because the museum was really a great place. I remember that we started going to the parties in '94, and we had friends, Valerie and Arthur Falk, who would meet up with us and hang out. They were wonderful people. Valerie's father is the creator of the Phantom, and she was so nice to us. They were originally in line with us for an autograph session with Kevin, and then afterwards they just were hanging out with us at the parties, became really good friends, and then we made friends with a photographer who was going around for the Words and Pictures Museum, and his name's Jim. In fact, I know him still on Facebook. Jim is a great guy. He took a lot of wonderful pictures, always had a good camera to go around the event. We also met our friend Tom there, so we have a handful of very awesome, cool people that we were able to meet, and it was really a hangout. And my favorite hangout, I remember coming into this museum, and it would be the store. And I'd always look around to see if I could find something Turtles. And sadly, throughout the years, more and more of the Turtle stuff disappeared. When they were in the Roundhouse, they were selling animation cells. But once they moved to the new location, they stopped selling those animation cells. That was sad. But they did have these little window decals that you could put in cars of the Turtles. And then when the Next Mutation rolled around, they had Words and Pictures shirts that would have Turtles real small, and it would say Words and Pictures Museum around them. And for kids, they had the big pictures of the Turtles with Words and Pictures around it. I wish the adult shirts looked like that too, instead of the real tiny turtle up in the corner. I got one of those shirts. I believe it was a raft shirt, and I brought it up to Kevin, and he drew a big turtle on the back. And I usually keep that shirt packed away because I don't want the autograph to fade away. I've never wore it, but it's one of those things that I had autographed at the party. Kevin also did a few sketches for me at the parties. So one of my earliest Kevin Eastman sketches, 1994, was done at the Words and Pictures party. So there was always something going on, and inside the door itself is the area where I'd normally get to say hi to people when I first get there, because most of the time it would start off down there, and then we would mingle upstairs. So I'd see Fiona working down there, or I'd see Phil working down there and get to say my hellos. And after searching for whatever turtle items they may have, I'd wander over, take the elevator up to the 4th floor and come out, and that's where the party would start. And I was always an early bird. Back then, got the early bird award in 1995. That's a fun story. In 1995, I knew the date for the museum party, and I was planning for it. Planned for it for a while. My mom was disappointed. She's a fan of the X-Files series with Mulder and Scully and all that. And there was an X-Files convention the same weekend at the Words and Pictures Museum party, but it was down in Pennsylvania. So she wanted to go to this party, this convention, and I wanted to go to the Words and Pictures party, but she's also a big fan of the Words and Pictures Museum. So she knew we had the Words and Pictures Museum came first. So right before leaving for the Words and Pictures event, I got
Caution, if you're still there, and thanks for the review, appreciate you, dude.
Mail thing in the
Means
mail,
a lot.
advertising an autograph session coming up the following weekend. And I looked at it and I'm like, that's nice, that's really cool and all, but I can't do 2 weekends out there, so there's no way I'm going to this autograph session that they got. I'm just going to do the party, which is this weekend. I did not read the full flyer. I should have, but I didn't. Me, my mom, and my sister got in the car, and we went out to Northampton, got into our hotel room, and we head over to the Words and Pictures Museum, and they stop and stare at us and go, "What are you doing here?" "What do you mean, what are we doing here? The party's next weekend." "No, the party is this weekend." And it seems that little flyer that was sent to me was also the announcement that the Words and Pictures membership party was boosted over by 1 week. So I looked at my mom and, "What are we doing?" She goes, "We're going down to Pennsylvania and going to go to the X-Files con." Well, my dad was making these dolls at the time, and they were missing a tooth, and it was called "The Tooth is Out There." They would have that on their T-shirts. And so they were aliens with missing teeth. Instead of "The truth is out there," "The tooth is out there." You know, kind of an X-Files spoof thing. And so my mom and sister threw some of these dolls together before we even started the trip. Well, they decided to bring some of these dolls to the X-Files con. So we went outside at our hotel that night with spray paint and painted these dolls out near the weeds. And so the weeds were very colorful from all the paint that we were doing. Got those dolls dried up, got their little shirts on them and everything. And the next morning we headed down for the convention. Well, we got there. There was a few different guests, and the one I remember most is Dean. He's one of the Long Gunmen. He looks a lot from like Wayne from Wayne's World, and that's how I would recognize him. And he was going around, and we decided to give the guests these dolls. Well, we gave Dean one of the dolls, and he was goofing off a lot. Like when he was leaving, he had it in the bag, and he goes, "I'm packing an illegal alien." So we had a lot of jokes and stuff that week, and a very fun time. And then when we headed back to the Northampton for the rest of the week, those weeks remained colorful all week long. We had a few other X-File experiences, which maybe I'll do as a write-up on cowabungacorner.com. But the day of the party showed up, and we show up there and going around, and they had started announcing their awards. Well, one of the awards they announced was the Early Bird Awards. Fiona was up there and told our full story of how we arrived a week early from Michigan and held up the award, which was the first page of Archie number 5, where the turtles are at the aquarium looking in at the big man ray, and my jaw dropped. We're talking the colored version of the page, where if you pick up the line mark, there's a nice flash color underneath. My whole surprise really has the best way of explaining it. I was so shocked and surprised. This is one of the pieces that still remain hanging in my room to this day. For a long time in our old house, it hung in the living room. But when we moved here, I got to put it upstairs in my own room. I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces in my collection. And after that, they came up with the Ivy Award that they gave us a couple years in a row, which ended up being animation cells, and it was for members who came the farthest for the party. But they stopped doing that near the end, and then people start coming from much farther. Like when Ninjara came in 1997, she traveled all the way in from Arizona, and Leonardo was coming in from Ohio at the time. She eventually moved out of Ohio even further west. So we had a lot of other people coming in further, but in the early days, we were the ones who hiked it and would drive out for the Words and Pictures Museum. That really is the party I miss the most. I don't have any other parties like that. I've never had another event like that, really. I've done other parties. I've had other meetups. I go to many events throughout the years. But the Words and Pictures Museum was more than just meeting up with friends. They were almost like a family. And when the museum closed, it was like going to a funeral. It's so hard. It was such a loss. That place was something that should have remained open. And if I had the money to fund it, to throw at Kevin and say, here, keep the place open, I would have done it. And I wish others were more willing to help support the museum. While, yes, Kevin created the turtles and could keep supporting it, it is nicer when people come together and help so that it's not all on one person. And it was helping the community so much. Kevin's always been helping the communities of where he lives. If you watch the episode where I have the video from that last party, they were giving speeches of all the stuff that Kevin has done for Northampton. So you stand there and you wonder, why did it have to close? Why weren't there sponsors? But that is why it closed. It is very, very, very difficult to get help funding things. It is not as easy as somebody thinks. If you have money, people assume you should pay for it all if you want to see it done. But when you're working on an event like a museum or a convention or any type of party, it's a community event. You're doing it for a bunch of people. Meaning, if you can get the community to work together, it's a lesser load. And it's easier. And that way things get done better because we have help and support from the people all around. But without that help and support, when you put the burden all on one person, the weight gets so heavy that people can lose a great thing. And that's what happened with the Words and Pictures Museum. We all lost out. We all did. And it wasn't because there wasn't members. It wasn't because there wasn't people interested in this wonderful building that stored such fantastic artwork, brought in so many wonderful guests, amazing guests that you can go and meet and greet and get autographs and have this great party every year. It was a place of enjoyment for everyone. But all it needed was some more help. I miss the Words and Pictures parties.
Welcome in, guys. Check the show notes for info on the show. Let me know if I can help you with anything. All the turtle stuff we got today is in the auction tab.
Someday
We're just running out of toys, but we can do comics by request as well. Let me know if there's anything in there you want me to run.
Area to help keep the fundings up. Hopefully have some backers behind it so that we can keep it going. And if we do so, I want to be able to hold membership parties like the Words and Pictures did to thank everyone who supports the Ninja Turtle Museum that I want to do. And I hope that all of our viewers here take a chance to be a part of this museum when we do start moving forward. and I do plan to start moving forward as soon as I
You can give us a follow for regular turtle shows. We hold them 3 times a week. Comics and toys.
And when the museum is done, it's not going to be something for me. I already can see the stuff. I'm already sharing the stuff. I want it there for the fans, for the people interested in actually seeing the stuff and being there. I want to have it in a steady place where people can come and know that they're going to see these movie props or scripts or animation cells or toys and know that it will be there. And that if they have any questions, the people there can help. I want it to be like the Words and Pictures Museum. A place where the people working there enjoy working.
You can check the show notes for info on the show. Let me know if I can help you with
anything.
anything.
And I wanted something that the fans that go there can appreciate and enjoy as much as I enjoyed what Kevin Eastman did. I want to thank everyone who took part in making the Words and Pictures Museum. Kevin, Bill, Fiona, everyone. And I will keep sharing the words of the Words and Pictures Museum. I'll keep sharing pictures and stories on California Corner here on video and the website. Because there's so many more stories.
Oh, thanks, Kid Boo. Appreciate the share, dude.
And a lot of them are based around the parties. It's every year. And
this Raphael's like convention exclusive. He's the battle ready one.
People who work there will try and do some interviews to say this is people who helped bring that part of my life alive. And thank you. So, now that I spoke all heavy about an art place, because the Words and Picture Museum was all about art, next week here on Cowabunga Corner, we are going to talk more about art. As we are going
check
to
the
share
show notes for info on us and our shows. And let me know if I can help you with anything. All the turtle stuff we got today is in the auction tab.
2011. This was a wonderful
running action figures, but we do have comics too. Or if you type in like figure in the search bar in the auction tab, it'll pull up everything we got for action figures we've been running through today.
We got several interviews. We got a lot of footage of
Let me know if you have any requests. I've run through almost everything once already. Almost. But happy to run anything again. Also happy to open to offers. Anything you guys want to look out there. Or just watch a Cowabunga Corner. If you guys have ever seen that. A couple of our regulars hadn't seen it. Let's see what other episodes are. So we got some Words and Pictures. Hope everyone's having a good day.
Hey, welcome back to Cowabunga Corner. In this episode, I'm going to talk about something very special to me, the Words and Pictures Museum. And I'd like to share the story of how I found the Words.
Today we're learning about the Words and Pictures Museum. And any of you turtle fans don't know about that place, what it was. Michelle Ivy went there a bunch, so I figured let her talk about it.
Now to tell you how I found and became a part of the history of the Words and Pictures Museum. It was in August 1994 that I was traveling home from Boston with my mom and sister.
Cool. Miranda.
We just left a friend's house, and on the way home, we're thinking, let's go and show my sister where Mirage Studios is, because I actually did find the location. And when we got there, we're thinking maybe we should get a scrap camera that we can go and get pictures of the outside of the studio to say, this is Mirage Studios. So we went to this camera shop on Main Street, Northampton, Mass. And when we went there, the people noticed I was wearing turtle clothing. They're like, oh, you're turtle fans, huh? Well, yeah. Like, have you been to the Turtle Museum? Turtle Museum? Turtle Museum. It's kind of like that episode of Third Rock from the Sun where they go, room service.
Maybe around that for 30 seconds. There you go.
Turtle Museum. So I was in a bit of shock when they said that because I never heard of a turtle museum before, ever. It was weird and exciting. So they're like, yeah, right down the street at the Roundhouse building, there is a museum that is about the Ninja Turtles. So I ran down the street and found this Roundhouse building. We went down to the back and got in the elevator, went up, and there was this life-size statue. Oh my God, it's a turtle. No, it's a comic book arts museum, the Words and Pictures Museum. I went through there gawking at all the artwork, just going in awe over the fact that this is original artwork. It's not just comic books, it's actually seeing the artwork made for the comic books. And they even had the cover for issue 1 of the first printing of Ninja Turtles. Talk about a heart stopper, just seeing that with my own eyes. I went through the museum and we got to the end where they had this tiny little one-wall shop with their t-shirts and postcards and stuff. And down at the bottom, they had a white bucket, one of those bins, plastic clear, and it was a bunch of animation cells. I start flipping through them. They're all Ninja Turtle animation cells from the original cartoon series. Oh my God, I want. And I look at the worker up there, and he's just watching me all amused. And he goes, "Turtle fan, huh?" And I'm like, yeah. How much are these? $5 a piece. $5. That was it for original animation cells. So I'm going through and I'm picking out my favorites. I picked out 10 of my favorite animation cells. And the workers started to pile out there. There was 3 of them just standing there watching us. And the guy spoke up again. Yeah, the big man himself's going to be here tomorrow. What? Yeah. Kevin Eastman's going to be here tomorrow for a melting pot autograph session. What? Wait a second, I'm going to get the chance to see Kevin Eastman? Now, I saw him 2 years earlier at TurtleCon 92. But to actually get the chance to see him at a small event like this, we are going to stay to see Kevin Eastman. And I was so excited. I mean, my heart was throbbing. I was in anticipation just to be able to see him again, get his autograph again, and maybe a picture with him. I couldn't hope for more than that. I really couldn't. I mean, the chance to see the Ninja Turtles a second time in my life, see how to see them once. So, and the excitement, I had good news and bad news that day. I also found out that someone I knew in the area passed away. So while I was thrilled and excited about the chance to see Kevin Eastman, I was also crushed finding out that someone I actually liked was gone. So we leave there. We got a hotel room. We stayed at a place called the Inn at Northampton. It's gone now. Well, it's not gone. It's still there. It's called the Clarion. It's no longer the same owners, though. It's really clear it's different owners. But my favorite room is 147. It's right off the pool. I stayed there several times. And we stayed at this hotel. The next day, went, got in the line. And I stood in that line so excited. I'm just going back and forth, holding on to a few turtle items I had with me on the trip for him to autograph, including the animation cells I just bought the day before. I'm like, yay, turtles. And we get in. It was a long wait in the line. Kevin looks up at us. This big smile goes on his face, and he goes, "You're Michigan people, aren't you?" He remembered me from TurtleCon 92. We made friends with the staffers, and we were talking to them and found out that that night there was a private party for members of the Words and Pictures Museum. So I bought my membership. I got the $25 associate membership. Sadly, they only got one other person in, but the museum was nice enough to get my sister in as well. So me, my sister, and my mom went and got to hang out with the crew that night. This was my first experience of the Words and Pictures Museum. And sadly, it was my last time at the Roundhouse. They closed down that museum just a month after I was there, And then the following January is when they reopened at the new location, which is vlog number 5 for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. I had a blast there, as it's shown in the video, but I came back every single year for their membership parties. I was constantly there in Northampton. The museum became like a second home. Originally at the Roundhouse Museum, they had the 4 turtle statues up in the very end room where their little gift shop was, and they had a bunch of tables where you could sit down and relax at the end. But inside the new building, it was kind of a span over the 2nd and 3rd floor. If you looked off a balcony from the 3rd floor, you could see Michelangelo's hand was even in reach for me. But the other turtles were all right there. But if you're standing in the 2nd floor area and you look up, you have them all above you. And this right here is a postcard of those statues. Later, in 1997, they added Venus de Milo statue to the group. So there was all 5 turtles plus Splinter as part of the display. They constantly kept bringing in different turtle art, and they constantly kept bringing in really, really cool guests. I mean, one year, I got to hang out with Ben, the creator of the Tick. And a cool story about that was I was at an autograph session they were holding there, and Ben was sitting right next to Kevin Eastman. And I'm like, wow, it's so cool to have you two sitting next to each other. And they're like, oh, yeah. And Ben's like, yeah, we're working on a movie right now. And I go, oh, if you do a movie, you need to get the same voice actor you have for the Tick in the cartoon. And he looks at me and he goes, why? And I'm like, because it's Michelangelo's voice from the original Turtle cartoon. So we all had a laugh. It was really cool having Kevin Eastman and Ben talking about that. But that's just one of the many wonderful experiences there. I one time got to enter a raffle they had there and won a Ninja Turtle animation cell from the episode Leonardo Cuts Loose, where Leonardo is holding Casey Jones down. So many wonderful experiences in this one building. The new location was 4 stories, and they actually held their parties inside the museum instead of over at a nightclub, like they did for the Roundhouse Museum. But it was worth it. It was worth every drive out there. It was worth every year buying the membership. I started going up in my memberships. I started buying the $125 membership yearly just to be able to have an awesome membership to be able to go to all the events and get my whole family in. When that museum closed, it was like going to a funeral. Walking through, seeing everyone dressed up nicely, hearing speeches, seeing the sad looks upon people's faces, and looking at the building, looking at the stuff hanging in the building. It was knowing that this is the last time I would ever get the chance to see this stuff. And how many people didn't even know about the museum? How many people never got the chance to see what I was seeing? Just knowing that it was going to be gone. It was so depressing. It was heartbreaking. At that party, when they made me a founder, a part of me just cried inside because I knew it was going on the web, but on the web, nobody would really see the wonders that the real building had to offer. The internet is not a replacement for what we have in the real world. Museums are important. Being able to meet people and talk to people behind the scenes and actually interact with these people in person is important. It's not just about pictures on a computer screen. It's not just about the pictures hanging there on the wall. It's the history behind that picture and knowing that's the original. It's not a scan. It's not a picture of a picture. That is the original artwork, and you can't do that with the internet. I really felt that the day that museum closed, even though it lasted on the internet for several years later, that the museum itself actually did die. When I go by that building now and see freaking Singular Wireless store there, and I walk by the back of the building where the turtle footprints go up the sidewalk, towards the building and see all the cracks and overgrowing, it feels like I'm walking around a cemetery. The loss of the Words of Pictures Museum is a big loss upon the turtle fandom. If you got to go, you were one of the lucky few. If you did not get to go, I hope that someday I can open the Turtle Museum that is worthy enough to be able to nod our heads to the Words of Pictures Museum for the great job and the wonderful experiences they gave me. I want to be able to do the same for many other fans to come. The Words of Pictures Museum was started in 1992 by Kevin Eastman. It closed in July 1999. The employees there were some of the nicest people you could have ever met. And I want to thank both Fiona and Phil for all the wonderful times and experiences that you gave me at the Words of Pictures Museum. Next week, I get to tell you guys about TurtleCon 1992.
I'm sure she has other ones about the Words and Pictures Museum, but
Time's boosted for smelly work clothes. It's cleaner, whiter, brighter, and fresher.
Hey, welcome back to California Corner. In this episode, we're going to talk about Totally Obsessed. Back in early 2004,
it's the VH1 show she was on.
TV shows looking for collectors and that I should contact them. So I sent my contact video, and in the following months, they did a bunch of phone interviews with me, talked to friends and family, and then this happened.
Yes, this is June 5th, 2004. We have the house especially clean because VH1 is coming out to interview Michelle on her being totally obsessed with Ninja Turtles for their new show, Totally Obsessed. And now we are going to enter the realm of turtles. This is prepared for VH1. We have posters. We have cell art. Photographs stuck to the wall. Inside wall. We just stick them. We got toys arranged. It's like walking into Toys R Us. Oh my. Look at this. It's the wall of turtles.
This is a lot of food stuff right here. A box of cookies never opened, a box of cereal never opened, candies never opened, milk dispensers, cake dispensers, Jello.
Cookie jars.
Yes, cookie jars of all four turtles, ceramics.
Some Halloween masks hanging up on the mirror.
Yeah.
There's the cheap one, and there's the
nice one. That was like $30 originally, and I got it for $7.
Yeah.
More toys.
More toys all over the wall.
I don't know if the sound on the video just cut or like this.
Just have them go
Oh,
on the collection.
weird.
Oh, here's a turtle that we picked up in Cancun, Mexico. Paper mache parachuting turtle.
Look at that
Yeah, but
thing.
there's actually cover art for one of the comics.
This is original cover work for one
Yeah.
of the comics by
Mark Bodie.
Mark Bodie.
And then Turtle Mouse Pad.
Let's see. I missed this. We have an ocean of figures.
There's a scratch right there, I think.
Action figures, I think.
Yes.
From the first series.
And the next mutation, and there's even some up here from the new series.
This is Mirage statues. Like, God.
This is a
Want
variety
those.
mixture. But the most important figures on here, that is right here, this is Scratch. He is worth about $150 out of package.
Here, these are prizes here. We got one here. That's
Leonardo.
and we have Mikey over here. These are actual working computerized heads from the movies. Which movies?
Turtles 3.
Turtles 3.
This one, the card right there is actually of the same head that's in the display case. He wore the helmet. He's got a little knob on the back of his bandana to hold the helmet on. So he said some of my favorite lines like, Clint Eastwood? Nah. Hey, Butch, don't you know Westerns are dead? And that was him saying that. And
It was,
this one, I think, that because of how the things is around his eyes, is the last head really used in the movie so much. So I put up a couple of cards of that head in action, and I think it is, but I'm not sure.
and it's the mask that it wears in the third movie.
This mask was worn by Raphael in Ninja Turtles 3, and next to him is the combat cold cut from Ninja Turtles 2. Over here is my display hallway, where I set up a lot of Ninja Turtle toys to show that I collect the action figures as much as I can for the TV show.
Look at the floor. It arranged all these characters here.
I dug out as many toys as I could fit into that hallway, to the point where I was putting toys out of package to stand on the toys in package that is attached to the walls for this video. I dug out at least, I'd say, around 200 Ninja Turtle action figures for this display. I have over 500, so this was not the full collection of action figures, but it was a nice setup. It was something that was impressive to the eyes of anyone who saw it for their first time and did not know what I've had in the past. This is my closet.
Oh boy, and here's she's even got her closet decorated.
What up, Brian?
Original comic art. Look at this.
Here's a
They
stack
got
of
the right
animation
person
cells.
for a show called Totally Obsessed.
Turtle shirts all in the front, and turtle shirts all in the back too. These are the ones I won't wear again.
I'm sure they'll be very happy with their choice.
These things are the things for holding the heads if they were not in display case. This is Michelangelo's, and this is Leonardo's. The back
You know, you don't have a room, you've got a museum?
Yes. These are all action figures in package.
Stacked up like a levee against the river here. You just
And
have them all piled in.
these ones right here aren't all of them. There's still about 3 more boxes of turtle toys in the other attic.
Well, I know there's a lot of it out in the garage and on the in the back room of the house, and like you say, the attic and on the this is her self-portrait.
Yes, I did that back in CASA. Teacher wanted me to put myself inside a drawing with stuff that's not real, and so I did a drawing of me surrounded by the turtles. Oh, these drawings right here are from a kid who was only 5 years old when he drew them for me. His name was John Aspinwall. And John, we at his birthday party.
More of her artwork up here.
Yeah.
Turtles everywhere. I'm out of here. One has just arrived. We have 2 vehicles here. We have a Suburban and a minivan.
This is me talking with Melanie. Melanie was the person who came up to interview me for Totally Obsessed. So she is the first person we have on camera who works for them. And this is me telling her about some of my past jobs, going over things I had to do while they were coming up to see my room for the first time.
Unbelievable. Yeah, this is a museum. Wow.
It's like going back to my childhood, but
Half of this is my childhood. I've been collecting since October of 1989.
Sorry, no food or drinks in the museum. Have you guys shot any other obsessed stories yet, or is this your...
several other ones.
Okay.
Just
curious, what are other people obsessed with?
one guy was into turning himself into a cat.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
Another guy was a 51-year-old man that dresses like Peter Pan every day.
Michael Jackson? You get a story of Michael Jackson?
There were a lot of Michael Jackson jokes going. What else did they do? Cabbage Patch Kids.
And there's also yellow cord for running that way that has something to do. That's what
Yes, I am. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's fine. I figured for having shot so many people, somebody's eventually got to stick a camera in my face. It's only fair, right?
I've been in television for a long time. So
Oh, really?
That's
Awesome.
That's something I do all the time anyhow.
Yeah.
he videotapes everything I do too, so I got video of all this turtle
So I gotta
stuff.
say, we always got cameras, still cameras going on, taking pictures of everything.
Here's the guys that do the camera work. They're coming up to start walking me in and figure out where they're going to set up the cameras, how they're going to get everything hooked up in the room. It was pretty cool getting to watch some of the stuff. Seeing the setup is something I've always enjoyed. I like watching behind the scene footage of movies and TV shows. I had no clue originally where they were going to have me sit. I thought maybe around my computer area because there was more Ninja Turtle stuff, but they ended up having me sit on the couch, which surprised me. And they did not need me up there for some time after that. They actually let me go back downstairs when they were done getting me originally where they're thinking about putting me. And they were bringing up other people to work inside the room to show the lighting and everything. Right now, this is nothing. This little bit of setup they got going is nothing compared to what they end up doing with all the reflectors and the lights and the microphones. It was just insane.
Are we just chilling? We're just chilling. I think maybe Kodiak's still here. I don't know. Imagine like he was probably popping in for lunch. I don't know if he's still here. But I've just been chilling watching Cowabunga Corner. Just like this is Michelle Ivy's home footage of when VH1 came to her house to interview her for being obsessed with Ninja Turtles. Yeah, there he is.
Because they wanted him to come in for a sparring lesson. We didn't know about
Always.
that. It was just insanity. Look at all the stuff they brought with them.
We learned about the Words and Pictures Museum, which was Kevin Eastman's museum. And then I kind of, this is like, so this is like behind the scenes of her getting interviewed by VH1 for being obsessed with Ninja Turtles in the 90s. So there's a lot of like cool 90s shit in their house.
Going around and trying to look at it.
Turtle shit, that
But
is.
I didn't get the chance to observe that much while they were there, as I tried to. But they were keeping me very busy. And now we're going to go back to Melanie and us in the living room.
Old is she?
She's 25 still though. She'll be 26 in September.
Is that Robin?
So she's young and healthy. Otherwise, she's healthy.
Yeah.
Normally.
So she's got a little boy, but he's on this weekend, Timmy. He's about 4 years old. He'll be 5 in November. My friend Robin that they wanted to interview just got out of the hospital that day and originally said no, and they talked her into it. They did not use her at all on the TV show, even though they pulled her out.
Oh, that reminds me. Does she get paid anything for this?
Typically we don't pay for interviews only because it's documentary.
The website mentioned something about it. That's why.
About getting paid?
Yeah. The website that my friend
Craigslist, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
long so much.
I didn't know that.
So.
And now I want tea.
Yeah.
Wow.
There wasn't much that Craigslist said. It was only $50, but I never saw that. It never got brought up again. Here's now the room being turned more into a studio. They got all the reflectors up. They got the lights up. It's just amazing on how much space was taken just for this crew. And they're trying to figure out what to do about the light from the outside. They did not want any outside light and had to find a new way to block my window from letting in lighting that was not controlled by them. It was pretty cool to get to witness this, and I'll say that over and over again because I mean it. Being a part of this was a lot of fun. And because I did not realize what they were going to do with the actual show, I was excited. It was different. It was thrilling. I'm used to my dad getting all the attention with camera work because of his work on past TV shows. So here I am getting my chance to share my stories, which is all I saw this as. I didn't see it as me becoming a known fan around the world, but someone able to get out some stories about stuff I've done with Ninja Turtles, and that did not even happen. So the excitement I had here was a little preempted, and should have waited till after I saw the show itself. I was high energy, and they used that to their advantage at full swing within this interview that took 3 hours of me on that couch. I was tired. I got into them as a normal cartoon where I'd race home 3:30 on Channel 20 and watch the Turtles. Then on Christmas time, my mom got me every single toy that was in the market at that time, Turtles. So, and that was the beginning of my collection. My favorite part of the collection that I got during that time was a Michelangelo doll that I still sleep with every single night. So,
Do you guys need to hold that doll?
We actually need to watch on it. Say exactly where you are.
Refrigerator off.
Can we or no?
Was it that bad, guys?
No, it's not that bad.
This interview took about 3 hours on the couch. They kept trying to get me to say things I did not want to say, like when I fight, I feel like a Ninja Turtle. I do not. So I refuse to say lines like that. I end up saying that I feel like the turtles are behind me. I over-exaggerated so people would realize I was joking, but they used a lot of my
Nice, Brian.
machines, so it looks like I'm serious. I'm not serious. I do not feel like a Ninja Turtle when I fight.
I made it to 4 o'clock. This is when the show was supposed to start.
In a fight. And yes, I've had
So I'm going to go a little longer and then probably call it a night.
It's a pretty impressive collection when people are around there. So a lot of people, when they come over, end up checking out what I have and are just amazed at staring at the walls. It doesn't look like this right now, though. I have more anime stuff in the hallway, while the Ninja Turtle collection still mainly sits in the bedroom. Out here, we're having lunch. Yes, they brought pizza in. This is at the same time they bought the pizza that I needed to use for the pizza scene. There.
It's official. Wait, I should read the fine print first. That's fine. No. No, it's TM from Minnesota. They actually flew her and her boyfriend in so they could interview her on this. They were going to fly in one of the Mirage cartoonists to paint her car, but he was not available. That sucks. He had to go to a convention. That would have been cool.
This is Turtle Ninja. I've known Turtle Ninja online since 1996. She's a good friend. As my dad mentioned, she was flown in from Minnesota to visit and be a part of this interview since she was one of my friends online. Though, because of the fact that she was too kind to me in the interviews, her main interview was cut out. We had a few surprises for her this day, though. A little bit tired, but I think I'll sleep first time meeting Earl, as I've met him online before when the two of them met, but we never got the chance to meet in person before this. Though in 2007, I was the maid of honor at their wedding as the two of them got together.
It's Tian's birthday, and they have a special cake that they made for her. Oh, it's a triple cake. Like,
Be right back, dudes.
After doing the fight scene, you can see on Ivy's flashbacks #1, we decided to do a birthday surprise for Tien. Though, to our unpleasant surprise, a wood clipper came on the street at the same time, which did not help at all with the sound, which I think is why we did not see this in the show. That, or they just didn't want to make me look sane at all.
oh my God. You're gonna. That doesn't sound. Hold it up so the camera.
You share it with us. All right, I'll share it. Then tell everyone how old you are. 24. All right. And this is Donatello, her favorite turtle. Unlike me, I'm not her favorite. See how that is? I do all this. Oh! Don't feel bad. There you go. All right. Now we're getting ready to film the pizza scene. This is a scene where they have me and Tia get in the kitchen. But getting ready for it, I let on that I was not really feeling all that well even. All the things had not been really going my way that day. After 3 hours on the couch, I actually came down sick before getting in the turtle costume. And now I'm announcing some of the reasons why being in the turtle costume was not comfortable that day.
Okay, let me see what you got on the A channel and the B channel. Hey, that's better. Now go between 3. Let me see three.
Okay. You okay?
No.
Let me see that.
Gatorade.
Okay, pull
Yeah,
on
we
the
do.
mic out
Yes,
on the
I'm
B
totally
channel,
entertaining
please.
me.
No. I didn't know I was gonna. If I realized I was gonna wear the costume, I wouldn't try to prepare. But I didn't even have my normal clothes that I wear underneath it. The costume didn't get no maintenance stuff. And usually the maintenance stuff is what we use, and I have a leotard or swimsuit I wear underneath the costume. Don't have
Hey,
no clothes.
can we have anybody in there, Aaron? Thank you. And where you at right now?
What I love there is that I'm saying I'm not doing well, and they don't really respond to that. They don't give me Gatorade. They don't really seem to care too much. It's just like, okay, whatever. You're not doing well. We're sorry we didn't give you warning that you'll have to wear the costume. I actually had the costume buried originally so that they couldn't have it for the show because I knew it needed maintenance. And they asked for us to pull it out. So I was really not happy about the costume being used on Totally Obsessed. But here we are, trying to get me ready to go in the kitchen and make myself even look crazier. Thank you, VH1. Messy food is always good food. Yeah. Best food always good. Chili. I've had it before, but it's good. Huh? I went to a chili party where we got to try all these different kind of chilies. They have hot dog chilies and stuff like that. Someone actually brought a chili pizza. I was there for that. That sounds good. Chili pizza. Go with the haunted house.
Sarah asked Michelle what her favorite Ninja Turtle pizza is, and then Michelle, talk about your favorite Ninja Turtle pizzas.
Well, this is my favorite. I also like the ice cream pizza. And, you know, I like ice cream pizza for the turtles, but I have a pizza thrower. Remember all the ice cream pizza that came out? Yeah. I've eaten cookie dough from Rob. And then there's peanut butter jelly pizza. I love that one for turtles because they did the big party in LA for Turtles 2 opening, and they had an interview and it was different. And peanut butter jelly pizza there. Yeah.
Michelle, they say the comment of, you know, you can
It's the song pizza cover says, always better than the next day. One thing we're not doing that the turtles did not approve is it's not Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut the only. Yeah, I was
Oh no, dude, really? I'm sorry.
Michelle,
Yeah, I've never tried them.
guys when they're eating their pizza. Do some lines.
Mylar and fullbacks, baby. Tried and true.
Hey, Dan, toss me a ninja slice. Oh, come on. Turn on the outfield.
I know the whole 1-4 was the whole napkin line.
Well, and the sprinkles.
Yeah, sprinkles.
If we don't have horse turtle here, she would have brought sprinkles. She always has sprinkles.
Yeah.
The hardest thing about the scene for me is I don't like cold pizza. I don't like reheating pizza. I don't like cold pizza. This pizza was bought at lunchtime, and it was very hard to eat it because it wasn't all that good. And I had to act like I was enjoying it. It was also hard because they filmed us eating a full slice of it. I was originally just thinking, we're going to show how a BLT pizza is made, and that's it. BLT pizzas can be found in restaurants in Michigan, at least. So this is not an uncommon pizza. I've had it several times before.
Every noisy thing you can think of has been happening today for this camera crew. We've had a refuse pulverizer pull up down the street that's grinding along. And now we've got a trailer full of lawn guys pulled up. All this is just as they were setting up in the backyard to do an interview with Keith.
Yeah, that is cool that you can see the back through it. Yeah, that's cool.
This is the setup for the interview with my parents. I will do an IV flashback that will be focused completely around this interview, as I got the whole thing on video from sitting there in the window.
You want to tape this, Michelle?
You guys will be looking at me. Yes. And try not to look at the camera. And my question is not heard, so like if I say, how long has Michelle been involved in Ninja Turtles, don't say 5 years, say a full sentence. Michelle has been involved in Ninja Turtles for 5 years, whatever. So if you can say like complete sentences, it helps. How many years was she at David Ivy? I-V-E-Y?
You got biker bed?
Okay, so I'll start with you, Claudia. How and when did
Oh man, I forget what I threw in that. What was in there, but you're welcome. I forget what I gave as a bonus for that bad boy. But yeah, congratulations, man! Proud owner of the biker bed number 3.
A neighbor boy named Jason had a toy in his hand, and he started playing with my son Brian, and she was there. And when Christmas was coming,
No problem, my man.
I spotted Ninja Turtle comic books.
Thank you.
And I bought a set of comics for each one of my kids. And this started getting her interested in seeing pictures of the comics to start reading. And from there it went into magazines. And then when the first movie came out, I found a novel and of the movie, Ninja Turtles, and I bought 3 of them and held them in front of me, one of my kids, and said, if you read the whole book, then you will be able to miss school that day. When the movie first comes out, to go see the movie, and that was Michelle's first novel that she read. And from there, she was able to get good with reading. And she's seen that the Ninja Turtles was doing.
We've been watching Cowabunga Corner episodes. We watched her like talking about the Words and Pictures Museum now. Like VH1 came to interview her for being like the most obsessed Ninja Turtles fan or whatever. So like her dad filmed the film crew filming her and stuff, and then she's like kind of goes through and talks about how like they kind of made her seem crazy, but she wasn't really like crazy. And it's like anyway.
It's called Totally Obsessed. They're going to be poking at you. Of course, he was right. I was kind of hoping that he was wrong on that. But
no.
Want to go on camera.
I wish that I could be on VH1. That's my goal, is to get this show on VH1. It's the dream, boys. Trying to make that VH1 money, you know what I'm saying?
She's helped me with my learning to read. She supported me in any of the decisions I had to make that would make a lifelong change. I respect my mother to no ends. She is one of my best friends.
Probably. I mean, it's probably like a, yeah.
I have to introduce her because she's always got some of the best stories.
Probably still around, bro. Probably not.
Focused in on her like this. It made it very hard for her, but she did.
Yeah, dude.
a little bit. You know, she was excited that she was going to be part of it. And this did get her ready for Fanatical.
If not, then our goal is to reboot VH1 and then be on VH1.
Used to be in front of the cameras. He's worked on shows like the
Dude, I know. I was saying that Rathbot, dude, he fucking does. He doesn't give a shit, man. Like I think I made him too angry. He like, yeah, man. I made him too angry. Like I tried to like talk to him about. I gotta try to like train him a little better, like with Casey Jones, because like every time I brought Casey Jones up, he's like, "Fuck that, like whatever." He can do it. I'm like, dude, that's like your best friend. Stop being a dick. So I'm trying to eventually fix that, but because I've got him like tilted. I got him like tilted right now. Like, but I just got him like the shit he just said is like the nicest shit he's ever said. Like he said, like, "Oh, fine, I'll watch the show. I'll get some popcorn. Fuck you." I was like, "All right, buddy." Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Because like Honeycutt and Donnie were like, I did Honeycutt, and I was like, well, he's like a friend. I'll do Donatello, and because he's like they'll hang out in the lab together. And then they're so nice all the time. And I was like, man, we need to bounce this shit out. Yeah, dude. Yeah, so they were like kind of like pretty vanilla, and I was like, let's mix this up a little bit. He's been pretty funny so far. But I gotta try to get him to have some sort of empathy for something, like Casey, like you know what I mean. Like, I'm trying to get it so he's still like that, but also is like cares about like the fate, like Casey Jones. So like he's, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave him. Like you said.
And money-wise, I paid for a lot of my own turtle toys through the birthday party. I did.
Okay. What did you think when you first walked up into the turtle lair and saw all her stuff?
I thought it was amazing. It was more than I expected. Way more.
Did the word obsessed pop into your mind?
Yes, obsessed. Devotion.
Could you phrase the question in your answer?
You got me, Jay.
Yeah, 1990 wraps the honey badger out of the chat for sure. He'll
This was the end of day one with Totally Obsessed. They were there for 2 more days filming, and we had a lot of fun with them that weekend. I will be doing some Ivy flashbacks, folks, around day 2. Sadly, we don't have any video from day 3, but it will be here.
So like one of the things I could have him do is like every now and then he'll just like jump into conversation. Like I don't think they don't really do it because of the Because I locked her into that one channel. Like, I didn't really want him doing that shit. I was like, don't speak unless spoken to. But I could make it so like he has like access to the whole server, and we'll just like kind of sometimes decide to be like, yo, what's up, fuck you, or whatever he says. Yeah. I thought I would do that with just Raph, but I don't know.
Real life isn't always kind to my floors, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna keep him in that channel, you know. And then he's just gonna get to chill with 99 Kai, and that's like we're done after that.
And adds protection.
Like it feels balanced enough to me. We don't need any more characters.
Give your floors a long-lasting shine with Rejuvenate Floor Restorers. Rejuvenate. Clean is a powerful thing.
Arena Club is an exciting new and modern way to buy, sell, and trade football, baseball, basketball.
I know, dude. Seriously.
For new collectors. Use code PAD for 20% first timer discount.
He's not even like I did put a lot of like different ways of saying angry in there as far as his like traits were concerned. But he
to self-publish and prove themselves. Ironically,
yeah.
that rejection was a gift.
Yeah, he's angry, man. But he's not even turned all the way up though. That's the thing. I don't even want to know what happens if I turn him all the way up.
The success triggered a gold rush in indie comics, but many Rush imitators lacked the quality of TMNT. When the bubble burst, comic stores and small publishers folded.
And that's the thing, like it's in his like core traits, like that he's friends with Casey Jones, but like there's just so much fucking hate in him that he just doesn't give a shit. Because like it's not like that, like he's like also like lone wolf and like different like you know. He likes to be alone, sort of thing. Like that whole thing's trained in him as well.
Something that didn't sit well with fans. Darker comics. Even with the cartoon's success, Kevin and Peter still had to fight for the franchise's potential to be taken seriously. But the Turtles were starting their own Icarus-like rise. So
maybe I'll do like I'll see what happens one day. I'll just like if I'm bored one day, I'll just like let him loose and see what happens.
And it all started with their name, the Silver Strike. Join me today as we explore the peak of Turtle Mania.
No, my lungs are still got so much fluid in my lungs.
In this 4th episode of History and a Half Show. Before I dive into this episode, I recommend you read Andrew Farago's book, TMNT, The Ultimate Visual History. It's been a valuable source for these videos. Now, let's get back to
watch Cowabunga Corner, son.
The Turtles' journey to the big screen started in 1985, when New World...
We watching vlogs today. Know what I'm saying? What's this one? Oh, this is at the Words and Picture Museum on this one. Word. It was just on YouTube, and they didn't like put me in trouble. They just said like we're delisting, or they took down the video, and I was like, oh whatever. I had to fix another one, the panel on YouTube. I had to fix that. There's a section of that I had to because in the intermission they played copyrighted songs between panels. And YouTube caught it on, like, its algorithm caught it. And I was like, oh, I just muted that part of the video. Yeah, 100%.
The Words and Picture Museum is closing down, and a handful of fans traveled around to gather and say our own goodbye to the museum.
Here we are at the beginning of the order.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, record some words for posterity. Cowabunga! Elephant, bro. Thanks. Oh man, I'm trying to see if I can shot of this. Ian has managed something that we're still trying to figure out how she pulled it off. I have a feeling I'm famed enough to keep this pizza thing spinning. I have a feeling I'm famed enough.
Pizza spinner.
We're supposed to be right
It is automated, yeah.
And somehow, I'm not sure how, but Jen here managed to do it. Hello.
So, but once I kind of, the one that they took down was I couldn't do anything about. We watched the whole first movie, and I was like, I was curious. I knew one of them was going to do it. Facebook Live didn't do it, which I was like, okay, that's sketchy. And like Twitch, I was like, meh. I don't know. I thought Facebook would definitely do it. YouTube, I was like not so sure, but it makes sense. So yeah, we can't watch the movies anymore or anything like that. Basically, I just watch like other like YouTubers. And YouTube doesn't seem to mind that.
There we go. Check out the sport.
Okay, there we go. Excellent. Before the party, I actually got to hang out with everyone out of costume. This was a lot of fun. Someone decided to put up a sign. Just like most parties, it was a challenge to get people to dance. So I pull up a friend and say, hey, come on, get out on the dance floor. But nobody wanted to dance with the turtle. No one. I tried. I really did. But it was still a lot of fun. I got to goof off since I knew each of these people.
Fucking treasure.
Hey, guys, I'm totally doing a turtle game. And I'm really Why? No, go off on ninja breakfast. We'll never will think, okay? Don't tell anyone, especially him.
Just get into practice again.
Did I understand?
Let me tell you, last night's condition practice, he had us on his hands and knees throughout the whole sewer. Last night he came to our house, he got this bad bag. I got in trouble. All he ever does is know how to say, it's party time.
Well, it's not even like that, is it, guys?
Take care, dude. I'm going to be hopping off in a minute here anyway. I hope you have a great night.
Okay.
Thanks for chilling. All right, Pagaja. See you in the Discord.
We have everybody lined up. I'll tell you what you're going to do. This is our little fishing pole. There are 4 turtles in here. If you pull out a turtle with a little magnet, if you pull out a turtle, you get a prize. If you pull out a foot, you get back in line. Go. So if everybody's lined up.
Everyone lined up to play sewer rescue, and of course I tormented people. Here's Brent getting Leonardo. I did not know at this time that he won. He was my target at this party. I'd like to torment him, as we have been friends for a few years at this time, and he was someone I talked to a lot on the internet, so it was easy to torture him. Leo could save
Brent.
Oh, no, you think the turtle?
Notice you didn't save you or me.
As everyone was playing the sewer rescue game, I decided to go torment the only winner.
Let's probably do about 5 more minutes and see if there's anyone we can raid.
So I went off to find Brent.
And here we go.
Let me know if there's anything you want me to run. Thanks for chilling with me. Appreciate you guys. We've only got like 3 more weeks of these shows in this room, in this setup, with all this. And things are gonna change forever. So we'll take these precious moments when we can. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I've got a room I'm renting, and the dude's got like a house. Like the room is pretty cool. It's fully furnished, and like he's got a bunch of cool stuff. He's got like game systems, like a 55-inch TV in there. So I think I just got to figure out how I'm gonna set this up in there. And then like I'm gonna bring obviously the toy box, and then the rack, and then all the inventory. But you know, let's see if I can get it. But from looking at it, I think I've got to figure it out. I've got to stand for the camera. So we should be
But the TMNT
we should be cooking there. But I'm also going to run shows that are like claim style or jetpack. You know what I mean? So
a certain turtle was refusing to come out of that
interested
sewer.
to see how long Ralph will tolerate that and how frequently. It'd be cool if I could do them like once a week. You know, so instead of the action figure show, like once I kind of clear out the action figure inventory, I'll still sell action figures through like from them or whatever. But I wonder how long.
And we
or how frequently, if I could do like add like 2 shows at my place and then 1 show at Jetpack weekly. Do it like a new comic book day show because you'd be able to get like he'll have new stuff on the racks and stuff. It'll be cool.
Why is there this conspiracy? Why has Raph not been saved yet? And we had a lot of fun. As you can see, this game can go on if a turtle's not saved.
Okay, I'm trying to get a complex here, people.
I'm excited.
No one can save you, Ram. 2 left. Yeah, but that's they don't have to be screaming. I'm making sure. They forget to put me in there. They don't want me saved. I'm starting to wonder. I know they're all there. You do? Good. There's Raph and doing something. Oh. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. He was really doing good. Thank you. Thank all of the foot first. She had to say them from me. Thanks, Paul. I know, right?
All right, see if there's anyone we can rate. This is my favorite part of the show when I can't find when I've got no one to rate.
All right, next game. I'd like everybody to join
Meh.
us and form a circle, and
Let's see who's doing this. Trying to find a turtle show for you guys. Let's do this one. All right. See you later, guys. Have a great night. See you in the Discord. Looking for TMNT.com. Out.